Finally, Luke Donald. These are your leaders in the clubhouse. Luke Donald, Ryan Fox, and Alex Smalley, all at 67, which is 4 under there at Quail Hollow, a par of 71. Sepp Straka, who many may not know, he's Austrian by birth, grew up in South Georgia, played at the University of Georgia, and lives in Birmingham. I think his wife was a Birmingham native. I think he met her at Georgia or something like that. I'm trying to remember the story, but lives in Vestavia and plays out of Greystone a lot. Well, his normal caddy, hurt his back, so he couldn't go last week at the Truist Championship, which is a signature event. You all saw what Sepp did with a backup caddy, right? He won. $3.6 million he won. And his main caddy wasn't on the bag, so the question came, will your backup caddy get the standard payout, which in an event like that would be 10%, $360,000. And he said, absolutely, I am paying him $360,000. It's a guy from here in Birmingham that he plays some golf with out at Greystone that's trying to make it on the mini tours. He's played some Corn Ferry Tour events. He's just trying to climb the ladder. And Sepp gave him $360,000 last week after winning the Truist Championship.
So even though he wasn't working that week, he went on and paid him anyway.
No.
Oh, okay.
This was the backup caddy.
Backup caddy.
Yeah,
okay.
the backup caddy. Yeah, the guy that filled in.
He's doing the same work, right?
He is.
I mean, he did give him an opportunity. Let me ask you, would you be a good caddy?
Would I be a good caddy?
Yeah.
Who's my golfer?
Would you make your golfer better, is what he's asking.
I mean, if my golfer would
Jordan Spieth is your golfer.
I mean, yeah. I wouldn't mind caddying for Jordan Spieth.
Do you think you'd be a good caddy?
I would not. No, I am.
Can you read greens?
I'm happy I've survived with you guys 15 years as a co-host. I like to tell everybody how they should have done it.
Jim is the ultimate second guesser. Would not have hit 5-iron there. Or you could have told me that before I swung.
Yeah,
You're my caddy.
That 7-iron was the wrong choice.
No,
there.
but can you imagine if he suggested 7, they went 8? Yeah. And then you're 10 yards short in the water.
Yeah. Dunaway
7 would have been right in the hole.
Dunaway's line would have been, so we're going to hit the water on this hole. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I would not be a good caddy. Would not be a good assistant coach. Would not be a good nurse. Anything that you got to assist other people where they won't listen to you all the time. No, would have been horrible at that.
You're an excellent broadcaster, Jim.
Yeah. Hit or miss at times. That's our show today. This hour has been brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Champy'sChicken.com. Highway 119 right there in Alabaster. Go by and enjoy Champy's. Not only did Moody softball win the state championship, I think Thompson won the state championship in softball. They celebrate with our friends at Champy's, just off Highway 119 there in Alabaster. Go by and tell them the next round sent you. Coming up this weekend, a lot of good basketball, the PGA Championship. Enjoy that. We are back with you. Oh, it's not Friday yet, is it?
No, it is not.
We're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. We'll continue our 40 and 40 countdown. The Pennant Grace with Josh and Emily Grace comes your way in 15 minutes. The Braves right now leading the Nationals 1-0, trying to get back to 500. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show on a Friday, getting ready for a big weekend. Don't panic, Brown will be here in a second. He's out playing Father of the Year, a little graduation ceremony this morning. He'll be in here somewhere in the next 15 to 45 minutes. Lance Taylor, Jim Dunaway, everyone else up here that's always here, including Tyler and Forrester, Tim Melton. You get Little T handling everything at Next Round Live, and EG handling everything else that's going on up here as we get rolling for a big show. 99 days now away from college football. We'll talk college football in a second. We'll update you on the PGA Championship. Is one team favored in every NFL game this year? We'll get to that. Some ins and outs of what's going on in college basketball, including Bruce Pearl last night talking about Tahaad Pettiford. We'll get that from our friends at WSFA in Montgomery at the Jimmy Rain event. But we continue at the Regions tradition this weekend. I was on with Danny and Dusty, Roddy Jones earlier this morning, Sirius XM. And they are like envious of our access to the big names that we get in that golf tournament. And one thing they asked about was Nick Saban and the commission, the presidential commission, but they also asked about Bill Belichick. And you had a chance earlier this week. Let's listen to that soundbite, and then I told him he was sort of non-committal. Here's Lance talking to Nick Saban about Bill Belichick and where we went from there.
Are you fascinated to see your friend in Chapel Hill? I know there's been different side stories. He seems like he's living his best life right now. You ever seen the movie Cocoon? He's living Cocoon. But are you surprised he got back into it at this level, and what do you expect? And has he called you and asked for advice?
Well, you know, Bill's a great coach. He's a good person. He loves competition, and he loves coaching. So I was disappointed that he didn't get an NFL job a year ago, and he saw this opportunity, and, you know, he wanted to take a shot at it. It's a new challenge for him, and you know, I think he'll do well, but I also think there'll be a learning curve in, you know, how to coach college players, as well as, you know, the system that we have to deal with right now in recruiting, transfer portal, and all that. It's going to be a little different.
Yeah, a little different. He seemed to stay away from.
He wasn't going to take that bait. And I want you to just ask him that straight up, because we would have had the awkward silence. I don't think he would have said anything at all. Are we going to be more forgiving with Belichick if he fails at North Carolina than what Nick Saban said? He was disappointed he didn't get a job 2024 in the NFL. Yeah. If he would have gotten, you know, I mean, name a job in 2024. If he would have gotten that job, he has a couple of bad years, gets fired from the NFL. I think it's a little different than him. You've got an excuse going to college, don't you?
That's right.
You've never done it before. It's a new landscape of college football.
I think what you're saying is we forgive Nick Saban at Miami.
I don't think anybody – I think we think about it like because we're so close to the Nick Saban situation. I really wonder how most sports fans, do they even remember – the small moment in time that Nick Saban was with Miami.
And I think you're exactly right. If this falls apart at North Carolina, football-wise, if that's the reason why, then I think this will be a afterthought, a small little footnote in Bill Belichick's career because he was so good in the NFL. Yeah, now, if it doesn't work because of Jordan, then that'll be a different memory.
So Jim Harbaugh takes over the Chargers last year and gets them to the postseason. But let's say that Bill Belichick would have gotten that job, and the Chargers are 8-9, and they're 8-9 for 2 or 3 years with Justin Herbert. I do think it's a little bit different.
I think at that point you get more credence to the fact that he did it with Tom Brady.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That becomes a lot more of the conversation there. It was interesting, that whole Nick Saban interview is up now, part of our Coca-Cola conversations out there. So last night we dropped Nate Oates for you. And if you're an Alabama basketball fan or just a college basketball fan, hearing Nate talk about the new facility in Tuscaloosa, you can go to our YouTube channel at Next Round Live, and you can see the conversation with Nate Oates. The Nick Saban one is up now, also in the same location on our YouTube channel. Just go there, like, subscribe. Give us a thumbs up as you watch the live show, but also in the videos. That's where you find the Coca-Cola conversations. And after the show today, we'll drop the Hugh Freeze conversation. All that with our great friends at Coca-Cola out there with the region.
6-6, man.
6-6.
6-6, Hugh.
Oh, yeah. Go watch that interview.
Yeah, that is the clip that really, really jumps. And I'm going to call all three of us soft for not following up. But again, when you look to the left and we saw A.J. McCarron and his his wife standing there waiting.
Yeah.
It would have been a buzzkill of a question, but it needed to be asked, and I think somebody probably will follow up and ask that question of Hugh, would you not assume?
Yeah, let's listen to it now. Give me cut 3, and this is a teaser to our whole conversation with Hugh Freeze. Here's Lance talking to Hugh Freeze about expectations, and I'll tell you what Hugh was telling us off the air, too, about expectations, but here's what he said on the air.
Going into this season, does it feel a little bit different? Do you feel like, hey, I've got to win X amount of games?
I'm not a fool. I think we've got to go to a bowl game, you know, and I think our administration understands. Look, I inherited a program that didn't have a top 25 recruiting class for 4 years. You're not going to win in this league. We've had now 2 full recruiting classes, both top 10. I think one more than your roster looks complete, but I'm still not naive. And we should have won some games last year that we could have won some games. I shouldn't say we should. We could have won some games last year. And we've got to find a way to make sure we're excellent in those areas that cost us those, that put us in a position to be at least bowl eligible, if not more. And I see no reason why we shouldn't do that. And I think that's an expectation that our people should expect. And I don't sit around feeling like that puts a lot of pressure on me. Look, I'm blessed. And I'm blessed to be at one of the greatest universities, to live in one of the greatest towns, to work for some of the greatest people, and our administration's awesome. My family, I have all 3 daughters there and grandkids. So, you know, whatever the outcome of all of that is, that will be okay. Obviously, I'm a competitor, and I want to deliver to the Auburn people, and it's time for us to start doing that.
Yeah. The 6-6 at the beginning pops out, though.
Oh, and then he kind of backed it up because I was like, maybe I misheard this. Maybe I'm overplaying this a little bit. And then he said it again. And I didn't get an opportunity because Scott was doing so many things when we were there on site at Greystone. But I did want to ask him as an Auburn fan, I mean, did that jump out to you, Scotty, that he says 6-6? And look, I'm not a fool. The administration, fans, I know we've got to go to a bowl game. I mean, should he not be saying, hey, look, I fully expect for us to compete to win an SEC championship, and if we don't go to a college football playoff this year, I'm disappointed?
I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a little alarming. Yeah.
I don't understand that at all.
But you guys understand. I mean, if it's your job, you don't want to put too high of a number out there. You don't want to say, we should be contending for the playoffs.
But they should.
They should be, but if it's your job, you're not going to say we should be contending for the playoffs.
Yeah,
because
but I think,
then that becomes the expectation.
I think you're smart enough and you're wise enough. I mean, you've said it multiple times on this show. If they're 6-6, there's an interim coach that will be, leading the Auburn program for whatever bowl game, whatever, if they're in Birmingham or wherever they are.
Well, the CBS projection, I think it was CBS, was the Gasparilla Bowl, which is a 6-6 season.
Yeah.
If you're in the Gasparilla Bowl, to me, if you're 6-6, that's going to be an interim coach.
Well, look, I was one of the guys that was like, Hugh Freeze better hire than Lane Kiffin. It hasn't worked out to that degree yet. I mean, 6-7, 5-7. I mean, the fact of the matter, if you look at all of his, 5 years at Ole Miss, 2 years at Auburn now, 7 years as an SEC coach, to me, 10 wins when you're getting paid elite money should be the number that you strive for. In those 7 seasons, how many 10-win seasons do you think? So 5 at Ole Miss, 2 at Auburn. We know none at Auburn.
Yeah, I would say he, counting a bowl game or the 12 regular season?
No, counting bowl game.
Counting the bowl game, I think he got 1 at Ole Miss.
You're right, 10-3 in 2015.
Yeah.
There were some vacated wins in 16, but I don't think he got up to 10 anyway, so I don't think that mattered. But again, 7 seasons as an SEC coach. He's only won 10 games one time. Now, difficult program at Ole Miss when he took it over. The Auburn situation, I agree with you, was difficult. But let me ask you this. Was Kirk Cignetti in a bad situation when he took Indiana over?
He was, but he was able to, and listen when I say this, he was able to bring some quality hole fillers from James Madison, which was a better program and team than Liberty was if they'd played each other. I know Liberty had some good records, but I think James Madison would have beaten Liberty if they played head-to-head. Signetti's best James Madison team.
But it's still
Liberty.
really good game. So,
Yeah.
your point, and I get it, because there was a lot of JMU guys on that roster.
Yeah, and
but
those
you
were
can
hole
handpick
fillers,
some of
yeah.
these Liberty guys, right?
Yeah, you could, but I don't know if they rise up to filling holes in the SEC against the schedule Auburn has. Remember, they get Georgia, Alabama every year. Indiana had a favorable schedule. But Signetti did a great job last year, and Hugh hasn't done a great job. And he was exactly right in that comment that they had 2, 3, 4 other games that if it goes one way or the other, they could win those games, and it looks different. So he took some of the blame. I think that's one thing you'll hear a lot of Hugh Freeze over the course of this summer is him taking accountability for where Auburn is right now. I think you'll hear that a lot this summer because I believe, in my opinion, there are a lot of his supporters who have told him, make sure that you are throwing out there, you're responsible for everything that goes on with this program, because I think that resonates more with Auburn people than some of the comments the way they played with Peyton Thorne during the season last year.
When we first started doing a show together, 15, 16 years ago, I think it was realistic to give a coach a full recruiting cycle of 4 years. But I think today when you're talking about a hungry program that is so passionate and, they've got the resources like Auburn, year 2 should be that year where you really see a big jump. And you didn't see the jump last year, and it's got to happen this year. And that's the last thing Auburn wants to do is reset it, coach. I think we're all pulling for Hugh Freeze. I think it was you that said, hey, you win games, it's good for everybody around in this economy, whether you're an Alabama fan, Auburn fan, Tennessee fan, it doesn't matter. So we're all pulling for Hugh. But the fact of the matter is, if he just gets to a bowl, I agree with you. I think it would be a problem.
Yeah, if it's just a Gasparilla Bowl or something.
But I think they're going to be better than that. Do you?
I do think they'll be better than that. And last year I put too much expectation on this team. I do think their roster is good enough to win 8 games, possibly 9 games. And if you're winning 9 games, you've got a chance to be in the college football playoff conversation. I would expect them to be around that 8 number, 8-3, 7-4 going into the Alabama game.
So last year when you looked around the SEC, I don't know who you thought the biggest surprise in conference was. To me, probably South Carolina. Would that be fair?
Yeah, because we were expecting
or
Missouri.
Vanderbilt.
We were expecting Missouri to be good. Yeah, Vanderbilt. With the win over Alabama and Virginia Tech. They played Texas close. Yeah, I would say Vanderbilt, but Missouri was expected to do what they did. I'd say South Carolina.
But, if you are an Auburn fan, look, we've seen the history of this conference and a good part of it. But if I'm an Auburn fan, I look at Missouri with Eli Drinkwitz, 10 wins. You look at Ole Miss, 10 wins. You look at South Carolina, 9 wins. And again, you look at Vanderbilt, they had more wins than Auburn last year with 7 wins. And if I'm an Auburn fan, how are these other programs doing it? We're not right now.
That's part of the conversations we have, the Coca-Cola conversations. You get that on our YouTube channel, again, at Next Round Live. At Next Round Live, it's always the great place to get our show live every day. It is there for you anytime you want it. If you watch us live or on replay, every show dating back to show number 1 is there for you anytime you want it. Catch up on the weekends, all of that at Next Round Live on YouTube. And in the video section, that's where you get the Coca-Cola conversations, and you'll get easy links to that off of our Twitter account and other accounts there at Next Round Live on all of our social media platforms. Couple of sponsors, and then 99 days from football. I have a list of either-ors for Lance that we'll go through in the opening segment, and then Brown will join us in the next segment. The show today being brought to you by a couple of great folks. One of them is our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. That's Greg from Pell City. Greg Nelson, his wife, Andrea, they run the company. It's locally owned for over 20 years. And the thing Greg wants to do as a local guy with 10 kids, and his family's been here forever, he understands the cost of everything. So he wants to give you something free. A free, no-cost, no-obligation roof inspection. If you call him up, 205-542-3531, 542-3531. Greg will get up there, inspect that roof for you, and let you know if you got something going on, where the age of your roof is. And
I've got he's meeting my adjuster on the 22nd, so got some roof issues, some damage from a storm, and He's already come out, take a look at it, but he's got to meet with the adjuster. And look, he handles all that. Like, I didn't talk to the insurance.
Right.
I mean, and that's you don't want to deal with a headache. And Greg is the middleman, takes care of everything from the estimate to dealing with the insurance.
And he's so knowledgeable at that. New rules in insurance he can walk you through. But his relationship with a lot of these insurance providers, because he's been doing it so long, helps you get maximum out of your insurance provider. It's just a great organization. They're A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Also, our friends at Twin Peaks LT, a great place to watch the games all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Twin Peaks, they've got a fantastic happy hour as well. No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, they've got everything from tequila cocktails, extensive bourbon category, to top-shelf spirits and cocktails served over the ice balls, local craft beers, handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out an adventurous drink menu second to none. And don't forget about those 29-degree drafts. We've got a Game 7 coming up in the NBA tomorrow. Big Game 6 tonight with the Celtics and Knicks.
Feels like a Game 7.
It does for the Knicks. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So drop into one of those great locations, enjoy incredible food and fantastic happy hour while you watch all the games right there with our friends at Twin Peaks.
All right. Yesterday was 100 days to week 0, 99 days today. And I have some either-ors for you. This is pretty amazing. Since 2014, which is the start of the college football playoff era, Alabama and Georgia has won the SEC championship every year except 2019.
LSU.
Alabama and Georgia have, at least one of them, have played in every SEC championship since 2014.
You know who that's the biggest shot at?
Auburn.
Well, I really think it's LSU.
Yeah, well, LSU at least has been there a couple of times, won one of them.
Yeah, but one in a decade for LSU is not enough.
But here's the question, either or. This year, I give you Alabama, Georgia, LSU, or Texas as a SEC champion, either or.
Alabama, Georgia, LSU.
Yeah.
As much money as I can get on it.
As much money as you can get on it, yeah. Because they won them all since 2014. Now, Texas only had one shot, and they were at least in the game. Either or, quarterback or not, wins the Heisman Trophy.
I will go quarterback. I mean, obviously we're coming off Travis Hunter winning. It's such a quarterback award. I don't know if you've got the numbers, but I think, over the last 25 years, probably 90+% of the Heismans have gone to quarterback. So I would go quarterback. But I'm trying to think, who would your favorite be right now?
Well, I think Garrett Nussmeier and Arch Manning,
Arch Manning, yeah,
are betting favorites. But I mean, Nussmeier's not a star household name. Arch is, but if Arch just puts up Quinn Ewers numbers, the other side of the street is Ohio State's wide receiver room.
Yeah,
considered to be the best, and Jeremiah is supposed to be the best best college player in the game, maybe.
Well, and look, we saw it with Devontae Smith. Probably the greatest one season we've seen from a wide receiver, but it wouldn't blow you away if Jeremiah Smith. Well, I don't know; those numbers were crazy. And that was an abbreviated season in 2020.
That's right.
But I think a lot of that did help when Jalen Waddle went down against Tennessee. He had a lot more targets. Boy, there are some really good receivers out there. I feel better about the receivers coming into the year than the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But, the quarterbacks still always get the credit. So it's almost like the receivers have to have a Devontae Smith moment.
Yeah.
And even one of the best seasons we've ever seen with Ashton Genty last year, he couldn't win one.
He came up short.
Do you think if that would have been with LSU, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, he wins it?
Well, I mean, if Justice Haynes is what people are expecting him to be at Michigan, he could put up big numbers. Pick a running back at Penn State. If they have the year they're supposed to have, he could have a huge
Allen or
season.
Singleton. I think they're so good at balancing the touches for those guys.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be difficult because they'll take away from the other. But I would say quarterback. I don't know who that guy's going to be, but
either or, if I put the number at 4.5, coaching changes in the Southeastern Conference after this season, under or over 4.5?
I'm going to go under. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if there's no changes.
We're coming off a year with no changes.
I know, but think about this. So, these are fine. Sark, Kirby, Heupel, DeBoer, Beamer, Elko, Kiffin, Drinkwitz, Lee now. That's it. that is 100% safe.
Okay, some of the hottest seats, though.
Okay.
Napier, Pittman, Freeze, and there was one other I had.
Napier, Pittman, Freeze, Stoops.
Stoops, I would throw in there.
Jeff Lebby, if he had another 0-8 in conference.
Lebby could be in a bad situation. And I put coaching changes.
Brian Kelly, did you mention Brian Kelly?
I didn't. I did not.
But if Brian Kelly was to go 7-6 this year, I think LSU would find a way to get rid of him.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens. I think, you and I both agree it's going to be really good season for LSU. But if it's not, if it's 7-6, I could see him lose his job.
Could be a good. I expect it to be a good season for Oklahoma. But if it didn't go well, Venables, I don't know how firm the ground is for him.
Yeah, because it's been, it was 6 wins, 10 wins, back to 6.
Yeah.
I think they bounce back up. Like I like Oklahoma and Auburn to have bounce back years this year. That's why I'm thinking, I lean there. I would put it at 1.5. And I think I would take the under. If you had gun to head, one guy loses his job this year, who is it?
Well, I think Sam Pittman will move on.
I think it would be Pittman too.
Yeah, but I think he'll move on, even if they are 6-win, 7-win type team. I think he'll shut it down.
If Taylor Green is awesome and they score 30-plus points a game and they're 6-7, do you think Petrino has a shot at getting that job again?
I do not.
See, I almost would let Petrino have it for a year or two if the offense is really good, just instead of taking a flyer on another guy, because you're not going to get a really established guy to take that program over.
And it'll be a rebuild at that point as well. Dante Moore or Drew Aller, and I forget the win totals, but incoming quarterback at Oregon, and really sight unseen. And what you know about Drew Aller, who would you take, either or?
Well, I would take, Aller might end up being the more talented guy. I've seen a lot of Aller. I've only seen a little bit of Dante Moore. But again, I go back to the systems they play in. And James Franklin, for whatever reason, is allergic to scoring points. And on the other side, Will Stein in this Oregon offense, it doesn't matter how much they lose with all the attrition, they're still going to be one of the best offenses in all of football. And so I think Dante Moore is going to put up massive numbers in that Oregon system. I don't think it's going to be as good as the last two quarterbacks we've seen because of the experience. Bo Nix was so experienced. Dylan Gabriel so experienced.
Okay, in however it ends up, more likely to be closer to making the playoffs this year, USC or Tennessee, either or?
I'm going to go USC. I think both have quarterback issues. I think it's going to be an easier path for USC in the Big Ten. I don't think either one of these teams makes college football playoff. I think both of these teams are top 25 teams or right around it. But I would lean USC here. You?
USC? I think USC too. Tennessee, to me, their ceiling seems to be 9 this year. Maybe 10, which would get them in. USC, 9 or 10, but I have a sneaky feeling USC is going to surprise a lot of folks.
I think Tennessee fans are very content where the program is right now with Heupel. I think USC fans are itching to either Lincoln Riley do something or get out. The best FU is to have success.
Yep.
I mean, if Lincoln Riley is to go out there and win 10 games this year, that is the best way to say, hey, you wanted me bought out. Look at what we did here.
LSU, Clemson play each other in the first game. Real Death Valley to you.
Oh, look, and this is unfair because I know you've been there, and you said Howard's Rock is not a pebble, but more like a brick, a glorified brick.
Smaller than I thought, and the run down the hill, not as – now, it was a day game, and it was Auburn coming off a pretty darn good – it was national championship season. I think it was 2011 I was there, so it was a big game. But it didn't have
it's not even close, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's hard for me to say watching, even on TV – LSU just has an intimidating atmosphere, and I don't think you can oversell at night in Baton Rouge when you have a really, really big game just because of the tailgates and the buzz and everything that goes into it. So Real Tiger Stadium for me is Baton Rouge.
I try to tell people when I'm at Baton Rouge, and I don't know if it ever makes sense, but when you're tailgating at Baton Rouge or in the stands, but really pregame tailgating, you never know what you're going to see. It could be anything.
Yeah, I mean, you could see a cat fight.
You could see.
You could see a dog drinking beer.
Yep.
Chicken fights.
Girls dancing on a pole on the back of a truck.
I will tell you what,
down the road.
They hate Alabama more than any. I don't want to say more than any fan base because I think Tennessee and Auburn do as well. But I remember we were in Baton Rouge, and a buddy of mine, Chop, Drew, had on a Detroit Red Wings shirt. And because of the color red, we were asking for directions. They wouldn't give directions.
Yeah. But you don't know what you're going to see. And then they're blenders where people are pedaling bikes to do the blenders, which are always fun.
You guys took a rickshaw together.
Yeah, it's just a great atmosphere. And then when you get inside the stadium, Clemson's not even close to that one. Okay, last one. You got to write these down. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, and I'm putting the over/under at 4.5 of SEC wins in these big 8 games. Okay. Texas, Ohio State.
Okay.
LSU, Clemson.
Oh man. Okay.
Alabama, Florida State.
Okay.
Auburn, Baylor.
Okay.
Missouri, Kansas.
Okay.
Texas A&M, Notre Dame.
Okay.
Florida, Miami.
Okay.
And Clemson, South Carolina. I think I got those right. The home teams I said last every time. And 4.5 of those 8. So 5 and 3 is an over.
I'm going under. I got 4 and 4.
4 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, those are the biggest out of conference games involving the SEC.
And those are really difficult. Or the difficult, like, I feel good. I don't feel good. Oh, I got Ohio State. I've got LSU, but that is super, super difficult. Alabama, that one seems easy.
Right.
I'd lean Auburn. That's another difficult one, though. I've got Kansas, but another very difficult game. I've got Notre Dame, but another very difficult game. I feel much better, though, that it isn't South Bend this year. I've got Florida, very difficult game, and I've got Clemson, not as difficult.
Yeah. See, I thought it would be around 4 and 4, which is why I put it at 4.5. But those are the biggest out of conference games, and it's not heavy SEC. Now, I mean, the SEC technically could go 8-0 in those games, which would be just a big flex.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way the SEC could go over. I mean, if Alabama loses to Florida, boy, I don't know how fun the show is going to be on Labor Day when we come in here. If Kalen DeBoer is 0-1 after a 4-loss, year one campaign, and he comes back and loses to a Florida State team that was awful. Florida State's going to be improved.
A lot.
I don't know if a lot. I think
compared to last year.
Yeah, compared to last year, 100%.
I'm not saying they're the team they were before.
But, I mean, if there is one of those 8 games that would shock you, it would be Alabama losing, right?
But if I said, Alabama, I just put a win down. If I said tougher out-of-conference opponent for Alabama, Florida State or Wisconsin?
Florida State.
Florida State, I think
so,
too.
Just because the heat, I mean, there's going to be 1,000 guys cramping up, and you get a couple of guys. Like if Ryan Williams starts having major cramping issues, Caden Proctor's having major cramping issues, and these guys have got to come off the field a little bit. You turn it over once or twice with a slick ball. Wisconsin at home, I mean, that should be kind of how it played out last year.
Yeah. Luke Fickell survived the season?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a big season for him.
Big season at Wisconsin. All right, just some fun either-ors there, college football to get us going. Brownie joins us in the next segment. Show today being brought to you by our great friends at Hemp Hill. They bring you Lance's Lock every day. NBA tonight, he mentioned it. You got the Celtics and Knicks. Knicks trying to close it out at Madison Square Garden, 7 o'clock on ESPN. After watching Jaylen Brown the other night, I'm not sure Boston's not still the better team here.
It's close. It really is. But I don't think Derek White is going to have the looks that he had in Game 5. If he does, then the Knicks, I don't know what they're doing. Tom Thibodeau, way too good of a coach. So I think you'll see better perimeter defense tonight from the Knicks. Now, does that equate to a win? We shall see. We had a loser last night. We had the Thunder.
Oh.
Shai Gilgeous getting into the foul trouble. So they're up 9 with 1:39 to go in the first half. He has to come out of the game. They close the half on a 6-3 run.
They throw the altitude. They had their altitude jerseys on. Denver did, Mile High. And I wonder, quick visit back to Denver there, if you were able to adjust like that.
I don't, in Denver's bench, what Christian Braun was able to do, Julian Strother, and then obviously Jokic goes 29, 14, and 8 assists.
Jamal Murray was good.
Yeah, and he was, coming in. They didn't know how well he would be because, legitimately sick coming into the game.
Yeah, lanceslock.com, brought to you by our friends at Hemphill.
205-229-2090. That is the number you need to call. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, ready to serve you. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. Remember, $1,000 off the HVAC right now, 0% financing. For more information, hard to stop a train, hemphillservices.com.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Early detection, so important. I was talking to somebody yesterday about Urology Centers of Alabama. They were a younger guy that were just getting that middle age, and I was telling them the story of a friend who, battled prostate cancer and didn't have early detection, and how it's just a different story at that point. So early detection, so huge. That is part of the story at Urology Centers of Alabama, 205-930-0920, 930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Everything from prostate health to kidney stones, vasectomies. They'll take care of life for you when it comes to that and your health. All at 16 wonderful locations, 35 urologists. Find the location near you and make an appointment. 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season. Do you need some refreshed college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Game Day collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
No matter the occasion, the Next Round store has you covered with whatever you need. Head over to nextround.store and start filling your cart up now. When you wear your gear, make sure to let us know by posting on socials, and you might just end up seeing yourself during a commercial break. Go browse now at nextround.store and place your order before the break ends.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We'll get a PGA Championship update coming up here momentarily. A leaderboard stocked with no big names. But we like to start this segment off every day with the viewing menu, brought to you by our great friends at Michelson.
Yeah, to view life in high definition, make the phone call that I made more than 2 decades ago, 205-969-8100. Very important. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation, 0 to lose, to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jim Michelson, best in the business. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com. There is one man that is absolutely on fire we will get to in a little bit, but boy, somebody is steaming out on the course right now.
Oh, good. Is it a name?
It's a name. It's American. You'll like that.
Okay, all right. What we're watching tonight, though, first, what are you doing, Tyler?
All right, so I missed the early access event for the Weekends movie, Hurry Up Tomorrow, so I'll be catching that movie tonight and putting out a review for it.
Ironically, you missed a movie
called Hurry Up Tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, that's irony, I think.
And I will also, over the next week, be going through the entire Mission Impossible franchise because the supposed final movie comes out next week, so I'm going to go through every entry.
Now, Tom Cruise owns that now, right? He's part owner of that franchise, that brand. I think I read that somewhere. Do you think it's the last one because
he finally looks old? I hate to say this,
yeah, but he's
can't
one
of
do
those guys. I would think that's probably a lot to do with it. I mean, Tom Cruise now is 63. Is that 62, 63?
He's somewhere around there.
Yeah.
He's a lot older than he looks, but he is finally showing his age.
People blown away when Mission Impossible comes up. I've only seen the original Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise. I've never seen any of the other ones.
I think the fourth one, Ghost Protocol, is really good. He climbs the building in Dubai, the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah, I've obviously seen that clip. I'm just much more of a James Bond fan than, what's the guy, Ethan
Hawke?
No, not that's the actor. I'm talking about
Ethan Hunt.
Ethan Hunt, yes.
Yeah. 62 will be 63 on July 3rd for Tom Cruise.
Hard to do stunts. I was, at Champions, which we'll get to in a little bit in our 40 and 40, but I was talking to one of the trainers there, and he was like, he's really good friends with the Great Kaiser, the wrestler that's 81 years old. Yeah. And he was like, do you remember when Herb wrestled the Great Kaiser? And I was like, I heard about it, but I wasn't really sure when it was, and I looked it up. It was 1985. Because I was sitting there thinking, there's no way that Herb's going in the ring in his 50s with the Great Kaiser, right?
See, if you'd asked me, I would have guessed they would have been 78, somewhere around there for Herbie. But 85, that's still
85, still 40 years ago, so Herb would have been in his 30s. Yep. My point there is, like, Tom Cruise doing these kind of stunts in his 60s is crazy.
Yeah, but it's sort of like Nick always ran out with Alabama. Dabo runs down the hill. At some point, you can't do those things, and people told me when Nick can't run out anymore, he doesn't want to coach anymore. He'll be long gone before he can't run out or can't do the drills in practice that he loves to throw the passes to the DB and that kind of thing. I get the feeling that if Tom can't do his own stunts, he doesn't want to do this Mission Impossible franchise. But if he owns it, I know it's the last one, but if somebody owns it, the genre is too good, Mission Impossible, to not come back in 15, 20 years and crank it back up again.
Does Tom Cruise have a son? I know he's got the daughter from him and Katie Holmes.
I think that's the only kid.
Okay.
That's the only one I know about, was the one that Katie Holmes took off with because she didn't want the kid to be a Scientologist.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering if there was like a natural person that could take over. Shia LaBeouf taking over for Harrison Ford did not work out in Indiana Jones. So I don't know if you could get that transition with another actor.
You can get that in IMAX, though, right? Starting May 23rd? Or tickets go on sale May 23rd or something like that?
Yes, this is filmed for IMAX.
Okay.
Do you like the IMAX stuff?
I would if the seats at our IMAX theater were better.
Yeah, it's too much for me. I get a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, I prefer the Prime Theater in Vestavia. It's got the bigger recliners, and it's got a really good screen and an incredible sound system. Next up on Max, they've added The Brutalist. Adrian Brody won Best Actor for this movie. It is long. It is 4 hours long, so I don't blame anyone that did not watch it in theaters. So you can break it up into chunks now.
Yeah, I will definitely watch this. Would you recommend breaking it up, though, into 2 or 3 parts?
I would recommend breaking it up into 2 parts because it's like clearly split into 2 halves with a built-in intermission.
I wonder if that'll pop up on Max, though.
I believe it transfers to digital, yeah. Next up, 3 p.m. on FX all the way to midnight. It's the original Star Wars trilogy, so you guys can watch, and then you can figure out the order of things.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3. It's Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
The good ones.
They're 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the originals. The OGs.
I went back and started Peaky Blinders. Said I was going to do it.
I watched it maybe 2 seasons and enjoyed it. Like you guys, had a hard time with it. Watched Friends and Neighbors last night, the new episode.
I have not seen the new episode. Good.
Okay. It's the worst episode of the season, in my opinion. I'd love to hear what you think.
Okay, well, I had a feeling after the last episode that this thing might be trending in a bad direction.
Yeah. It was the worst episode of the season.
Yeah, I hate to hear that.
Yeah.
Because that one had a lot of potential, too.
In my opinion. But on the flip side, I thought it was the best studio, also on Apple, of the season. I enjoyed it the most.
Have you seen Dope Thief yet?
I have not. According to my, is that on Apple?
Yeah.
According to my streaming, I'm watching it because when those 2 ran out, it starts up before I could stop it. So it looks like continue watching Dope Thief.
I'm always getting Shrinking has always popped up on mine. And I watched like 4 or 5 episodes of Shrinking. The Apple stuff is like hit or miss for me. Like Dope Thief is not bad, but that genre is like, right in my wheelhouse, but it's just missing a little something.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed Severance. I enjoyed Shrinking.
Michael J. Fox is going to pop up in Shrinking, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, that will bring me back to Shrinking then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the guy who played in Star Wars, full circle, Harrison Ford, in Shrinking,
plays the guy with Parkinson's, right?
And he really does have Parkinson's, so he's battling that. So I can see where Michael J. Fox could pop up on that. Yeah.
Were you more of did you like Family Ties?
I did. That and which one was Blair and the girls that went off?
Facts of Life.
Facts of Life.
That was George Clooney, I think his first regular gig.
So Family Ties, Facts of Life, that's my wheelhouse. Back in TVs in the 80s, right? TV in the 80s.
So you were more Blair than Joe?
No, I was more Joe.
Were you? Like you work on a car?
Smoke show. She was a smoke show.
Lace a double down the line?
Yeah, smoke show. Joe was. All right, that's what Tyler's watching. Brought to you by our friends at Michelson. Michelson is the great folks there who changed LT's way of seeing things. Also, our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive with the PGA Championship update. Tell us about Vulcan Tire and Automotive, and let's talk a little golf before we get to some more football.
Yeah, stop into one of those great locations. A lot of people are getting on the road this weekend, heading to the lake or beach. A lot of people, especially next weekend for the Memorial Day weekend. Dunaway will be on the road. Vulcan's got the best tire pricing in all of Birmingham, guaranteed when you mention the next round. Your car works hard for you. Let them return the favor at Vulcan Tire and Automotive. Make sure that car is properly serviced, bumper to bumper. They can do it at one of those great Birmingham locations. Stop in today, Vulcan Tire and Automotive.
Okay, who's the guy that's hot?
Max Homa. He is all the way up to 5 under. Began the day at +2. He is 7 under through 12 today.
Wow.
I mean, that is on fire. So he is just a stroke behind Jonathan Vegas, who was 1 over on the day through 6. Some other notables at the top. Well, there's really not a lot of notables.
That was the story yesterday. It was just so many no-names, relatively speaking, to those of us that are average golf fans that were on the leaderboard. Such a bad day for Rory and an average day for Scheffler, and Schauffele was off the beaten path.
I'll tell you, Adam Scott was on fire for a minute. Now he is just even on the day through 10, -2 overall. Colin Morikawa is 1 under on the day. He is -2 overall through 9. Bryson DeChambeau, this is something to look out for. He started the day at even par. He is now 2 under through 7. Any other notables? Justin Thomas started the day really well, and he's come back to earth a little bit. It looks like the projected cut line right now is +2. And that is exactly where Justin Thomas sits. He is even on the day through 10.
Had to take a shoe off yesterday to hit an amazing shot out of the hazard.
You know, he was at one point, I think, -2 or -3 on the day, and he's found some bogeys. Spieth is -2 on the day at +3, so he's trying to get above that cut line. Should be a fascinating day. It looks like scoring was really well early on, but Max Homa is the story right now. To be 7 under through 12, pretty crazy, just a stroke back of Jonathan Vegas, who still leads right now the PGA Championship.
And that's our Vulcan Tire and Automotive update. All right, to college football, we go back here, and there's a report out, and this isn't going to surprise anybody, from Deloitte, who will be handling the clearinghouse when we get that in place starting July 1st if this House resolution passes. And every new NIL deal of $600 or more, which would include the ones we've done, would have to go through the clearinghouse. The ACC says in their meetings that Deloitte told them that 70% of the NIL deals done by booster collectives would have been denied by the clearinghouse. 70% of them were illegal, according to the guidelines that will be in place. 90% of the ones that were done with public corporations like ours were legal through the clearinghouse. So great news for businesses like ours.
Right. Well, it's a lot of red tape. You know, Brown is the guy that deals with all the NIL, and he's dealing with agents. He's dealing with universities, obviously the athletes.
But what that means is that the 70% other deals that the collectives have done, they have to manufacture or maneuver those into the 90% categories of the ones that were done with public companies to make them legal with the clearinghouse.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen moving forward, like who's going to police all this? Because
they've hired Deloitte to be in charge of the clearinghouse.
Oh, they'll be in charge of the clearinghouse, but I'm saying if somebody is doing something below board, who's going to be in charge of it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You know, back in the day, you had, I don't know how many guys on 100-plus roster, how many guys were getting paid. It wasn't everybody. Everybody's getting paid now, so I just don't know how you police this.
They're going to have an enforcement committee. You're right. It seems to be too overwhelming to enforce it. Were you surprised by the percentages? That 70% of the ones that done by the collective? Because I know dealing with Yay, Alabama, and Greg Byrne, they were very slow to sort of jump into the collective game. They were trying to do it with the future guidelines in mind.
Yeah, but we literally crossed every T and dotted every I. And I think there's probably agents that get calls from a dealership and they're like, hey, we want to work with this certain athlete. And they probably do the deal without, certain entities being involved. Yeah. So, the numbers really don't blow me away.
Yeah, so you were expecting 70%. That was a high.
I mean, I don't know. That might be a little high, but
that was a high number to me.
Doesn't blow me away.
Yeah, I was like, so basically 70% they were not earning the money is what that was saying there. That from the ACC there today. A little NFL news for you. We'll talk about that after LT tells us about our friends at Odie's. What's going on at Odie's, man?
It is a great place to watch this PGA Championship action. Knock off work a little early. They'll open the doors at 11 o'clock. You can enjoy the big-time lunch. Rodney Davis has been doing incredible food there for more than 3 decades. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches. And remember, every Friday, Saturday night, both locations of Odie's, live music as well. So a great place to watch golf all week in the NBA postseason and to check out some live music. Get in and see Will Haver and that great staff. Birmingham Institution, 2 locations, the original and Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. It's Odie's Tavern.
And our friends at New Life Art, DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com, promo code TNR. That's the ability for you to hop in there and get a little piece of history there from the goal line stand all the way to the Rocky Block and the most recent painting from Daniel A. Moore, the legend Nick Saban and his 6 national championships at Alabama. All the works, just go check it out online at danielmooreart.com. danielmooreart.com, promo code TNR, and they'll take care of all that for you there at danielmooreart.com. danielmooreart.com, promo code TNR. Welcome in Ryan Brown now.
Hey, boys. Sorry to miss the start of the show.
That's okay. We told everybody you were out being a great dad.
Elementary school graduation, you let those teachers start talking, man. They're going to talk.
Absolutely. Hey, I asked LT this question before because it was in one of my little note packets. And I believe all the things I get in my note packets, but then there are a few that I write down like, I don't believe this to be true.
Okay.
So that I can ask you guys about it on the air, and that's the way it works. I write it down, question mark, I don't believe this to be true, and then I just ask it live on the air. Are the Bills favored in every game this year? Is that a true statement?
I don't believe that to be true, Lance.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I saw that in one of my packets.
They're going to be favored. Okay, so I'll just tell you the games they might not be favored in.
Well, first of all, would this be unlikely for an NFL team?
I mean, like going into the season.
Yeah.
Once you get into the season, like the Patriots in 2007.
Well, they were favored in every game, but I wonder if they were preseason.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But right now, the Ravens, that game's in Buffalo, so I've already seen the Bills are like a 1.5, 2-point favorite. But that one will be close. Outside of that, they go to Atlanta. They'll be favored against the Falcons on the road. They've got the Chiefs at home. They'll be favored. At the Dolphins, they'll probably be a 2 or 3 point favorite there. At the Texans, 2 or 3 point favorite. At the Steelers, favored. Yeah, they're favored. They got the Eagles at home, but they're going to be favored in all 17 games.
If they played Philadelphia or Kansas City on the road, they'd be dogs.
Yes.
But they get them at home.
I know, but they get them at home. That might be the only ones, right? I mean, would that be
Baltimore? They would be a dog.
At Baltimore?
Yeah, they'd be a dog at Baltimore. They would be a dog at
Philly, at Kansas City. That might be it. It's pretty crazy.
Be it. Yeah, they were favored on the road against the Rams last year. At Green Bay would be around a pick. Detroit would be favored at home. So I'll stop at this. I would say Detroit, Philadelphia, Kansas City, and what was our final one?
Baltimore.
Yeah.
If those were on the road.
Yeah,
but they're not.
They're not. So
Man,
yes.
So we're sitting here today.
When you brought that up this morning to me, I was like, I've never really seen that going into a season, but yeah.
So 17 games, and the Bills, you see their schedule there. They are going to be the favorites, at least if you went to the window right now in Las Vegas.
Okay, so would you think this is good value? What do you think their win total is?
12.5?
I would say it's 12.5. You could bet it right now, and I'd take the over.
I think it is 11.5.
Well,
I would tell you right now.
Definitely take the over at 11.5 Dunaway.
Yeah. Well, I'll be at a casino next weekend.
Buffalo's win total is 11.5.
I mean,
doesn't that feel like a hard over, Lance?
Brown, based on the fact that they're going to be favored in 17.
Can I pass you some cash?
Yeah, Brown, you should actually give me the money to go bet this.
Listen, I don't want the money if it means the Bills going over their win total. I'll go and tell you, even if it's an easy bet, I don't subscribe to the old I win either way. I have never watched a team I hate win and think, I had money on it. That makes it better. Well, I don't.
Oh, that never bothered me.
No, it does me. Like, I couldn't bet on the Bills.
No, what I hate is having money on a team I hate and then they don't cover.
Oh, yeah, then it's a double.
It just makes you hate them more.
No, I guess there isn't an amount of money where I'd be like, okay, I'm okay with it, Dunaway. But like having to sit there and think, all right, the Bills won. I'm one game closer to winning money. That is never going to work for me in a season.
Yeah, I can find 6 losses, though. But you have to dig for 6 losses. I mean, I found games they really could lose. I've got them 11-6 in games they really could lose. So I think the over 11.5 now. Josh Allen goes down in the first month of the season.
That changes everything. But if at Miami were maybe in December, I could see that a little bit.
That's one of the 6.
Yeah, I mean, and Nicholas says this in the chat. He's like, I bet Miami loves going to Buffalo early in the season, 100%. I said it in the video that it's out on TikTok right now. If that's one of the first things I look at as a Miami fan, do we get Buffalo on the road early, at home late? That is a far better setup for Miami because November, December, they come to Miami, it could be 85 at kick.
Yeah.
And they hadn't seen 85 degrees in 5 months up there.
They go to Miami November 9th. The last time I went to a Dolphins game was on Halloween, and it was
sweltering.
It was 88 degrees.
Yeah, I know.
So, Buffalo could be coming off a game where they're playing in 50-degree sleet.
And especially, Jim, if it's that one Eastern kick, the noon kick around here, when visiting team stands in the sun the whole game and Miami stands in the shade. And there's a lot of complaining about that.
It is a noon kick.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, in the mind of Jim Dunaway is our Bojangles Tender Moment of the Day, brought to you by the wonderful folks at Bojangles. Todd Fuhrman coming up at the top of the hour, but I got two thoughts. One quick one and then one little deeper thought here. It's our Bojangles Tender Moment of the Day.
From sweet to heat, Bojangles has 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with sauces than hand-breaded tenders. If you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. Add some tang with barbecue. If you're looking for some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you want that smooth and creamy, house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, our classic Bo sauce are ready and waiting for you. Head to Bojangles. Order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bo time.
It was this thought last night that had my wife say to me, "You really are mentally disturbed."
It took this long.
Quote.
How
No,
long-
she,
Boy, is that the first time she's ever said
I was
that?
about to say, how long y'all been married?
No, but she literally said this last night. I said what I'm about to say on the air,
Okay.
and she goes, "I mean, your brain, you really are mentally disturbed."
I've always loved Maggie.
And here we are. It was the perfect night last night. I played a little golf with our friends at Inverness Country Club. Then I sat out there on the 19th hole, had a couple of cocktails, and then went and had dinner with my buddy Tony and Courtney. And then I get home, and Maggie's back from doing her thing, and it's hot, but the sun is sort of setting, and we're outside a little bit. And I don't know if you notice this time of year on the sidewalk or in parking lots or stuff, there are these dead worms.
Yeah.
That for a worm, like walking through our parking lot, like I saw one walking in the other day in our parking lot up here. Can you imagine the journey that it takes for that worm, that slow-moving worm, to crawl across a huge parking lot from one place where it was nice and comfortable in its earth, crawling to wherever it's going?
That's a bad wrong turn, man.
And I looked at Maggie and I said, what was going on in that worm's world that made it decide that today's the day that I've got to leave my comfortable place and I'm heading somewhere else, and I've got to cross this massive asphalt desert?
Can I ask you the most obvious question?
Yes.
How many
How
many milligrams were in you
I'm
at that
just
point?
saying, you just think about
Was he cutting up the mushrooms?
Just think about you're in that comfortable soil.
That's right.
And you decided this asphalt desert, I'm going to crawl and risk my life. What am I going to?
And all the other worms like, Tony, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm
I'm going to
say
the top, boys. This is the day.
They
Their
have
reasoning
legends about
skills.
the parking lot in the worm world.
Yeah, boys, Tony almost made it across.
And their brain's not really good.
Yeah.
I mean, because the contrast of a worm on a black asphalt, their biggest fear is a bird, right? Snatching them up.
Yeah. It turns out it usually is the heat, I guess.
Yeah. Is Maggie going to
up.
turn this into an analogy in her sermon?
I don't know. But
you're right.
Here's our tender moment of the day.
I thought that was it.
No, my other observation, Todd Fuhrman next, is that is it because I'm attracted to women that have you noticed how many relationships where the woman is so much better looking than the guy?
Yeah.
And does it just look that way because I don't find men attractive like I do women? Like
That's a good question.
I just saw this last night that Elizabeth Hurley.
Okay, if you're going that the dude he's got to be a lot younger and a lot richer.
Is dating Billy Ray Cyrus.
I saw this. It's such a weird combination.
Elizabeth Hurley is dating.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Hurley, so much better looking in life than Billy Ray Cyrus.
And listen, man, she's aging like fine wine too, Elizabeth.
Oh,
Hurley.
I have not seen
But
recent pictures.
she's a serial dater.
Yeah.
And he has got a ton of cash. So I guarantee you she looks at that.
I mean,
he
I
looks
looked
like
at this.
that photo on the right where he's wearing that hat. He looks like he hadn't showered in a month.
Yeah.
I mean, all due respect to the people up here, but I look at everyone. I have not met Tyler's girlfriend, but everyone else
No
up
longer
here.
together.
Yeah, I think there's an update on that relationship.
Yeah.
Well, I'll never get to meet Tyler's ex-girlfriend.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah.
But every person up here, including the girls, like I think the world of our girls, Taylor and EG, and I love the other side of their relationship.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're good enough for our girls. And then I look at us, and I think our women are a lot better looking than we deserve. I just don't understand why.
But it can't be universal. Like every man can't marry up. It just the numbers don't work.
Yeah.
But do men ever marry down?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's got to happen at some point.
Yeah, you see it. Now, I think everybody's goal in life is to, outkick their coverage, if we're going to use that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how Clay got started.
But I think that's a lot of goals. You want to have a better looking partner, right?
Yeah, no doubt. But I'm just saying the numbers don't work. Every man can't marry up. At some point, he's got to marry down.
Yeah,
it happens.
I'm just looking at. I mean, we're.
I know.
We're helping out 3 guys around the world.
I think the majority of the men do marry up.
Yeah, interesting. I found that observation yesterday. Some of it was on the golf course.
It doesn't blow me away because again, he's got that, that weird look that some chicks like. They like the tat sleeve and
dirty long hair.
I wonder what kind of money he's got though. Do you think he's got a ton?
So here's what he got. He was. Obviously when she was doing the Hannah Montana stuff and printing money with Disney, that was coming into his account.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think he might have kept some of Miley's cash?
I would say that he's worth $50 million.
That's a good point. Tyler was right. He was on the show, and he might have been an executive producer. I don't know.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Probably was. $50 million, I'm guessing.
I mean, net worth, according to Celebrity Net Worth, only $10 million.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm a bit surprised by that one.
I bet Elizabeth Hurley's a bit more.
Probably. I mean, they can buy from divorces, but I mean,
Miley's 160.
Yeah. So she got the money.
I would have thought Billy Ray made more than $10 million off of Achy Breaky Heart. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he should have a whole line of products that are Achy Breaky Heart. He should have Achy Breaky Heart wine coolers, Achy Breaky Heart edibles.
One of the worst songs of all time.
Achy Breaky Heart underwear. I mean, you could have a whole line of that
Just
stuff.
an awful
Somebody
song.
get Billy Ray
I
on
got
the
to
phone.
see it live.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Lance.
Hey, Dunaway called me a closet country music fan.
Yeah.
But it was at June Jam. It was that year that it came out, and he performed it twice.
This is all I got, boys.
So there you go. That's in my head. Dunaway inside my head yesterday afternoon. When we come back, we go inside Todd Fuhrman's head on the other side of the show, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Looking to expand your business? Let the Next Round help you. Contact us, sales@nextroundlive.com, and be part of the team. Advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platforms. The Next Round can take your business to the next level. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, while reaching the most desirable audience for your business. Get more information by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level using the Next Round.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
We love the moments, the memories, the magic, the championships. So let's get more. More victories. More celebration.
He's got a chance. It won't be caught.
More unforgettable. More football.
Don't miss the last home game of the regular season on May 24th. Visit UFLstallions.com for tickets.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hey, back with you on the next round. Todd Fuhrman rolling in, NBA playoffs. I was telling LT earlier, it's not a Game 7, but it feels like it for the Knicks tonight. So let's see what Fuhrman thinks about some of the NBA playoffs going on. This hour of the show being brought to you by our great friends right there at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
All right. He says it feels like a Game 7. We'll start with the NBA and work some of these NFL totals after the schedule release. But first, let's welcome in BetTheBoardPodcast.com's Todd Fuhrman. What is up, Fuhrman? How are you today?
I'm doing well, gentlemen, but after all that Billy Ray Cyrus discussion, I feel like that's a very difficult act for me to follow here as we break down some of the numbers.
Rarely has Billy Ray Cyrus been a difficult act to follow, Fuhrman.
Passive-aggressive Fuhrman making fun of the fact that I was talking Billy Ray Cyrus instead of getting to him on time.
Look, Dunaway, it happens. Things are back to norm. The Earth is back on its axis, so we're just fine the way we'll head into this segment.
So even if Billy Ray did a residency at Circus, do you think he could bring any of those people out?
Circus, maybe. I'm not sure he's going to be able to sell out the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace like Celine Dion or Garth Brooks when he did some of his final shows. I don't think he's going to pack in 60,000 strong at Allegiant Stadium anytime soon, unless, of course, he decides.
Oh, we lost Fuhrman.
Oh,
man.
How did we lose Fuhrman?
I don't know.
Billy Ray Cyrus gods didn't like that negativity.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try to reconnect with Todd Fuhrman. While we're getting Fuhrman back on, our show being brought to you by the Regions Tradition as they continue on out at Greystone, Brad.
Yeah, RegionsTradition.com goes through the weekend. I saw the leader, a 63 yesterday. So the rain softened the fairways, softened the greens. They were able to feast out there. So some scoring with the 63, to take the lead. You can see all weekend long the Regions Tradition presented by Coca-Cola. RegionsTradition.com. RegionsTradition.com is the website to go to get your tickets. Get your tickets and head out to Greystone for the annual Regions Tradition. As always, helping great Birmingham charities. RegionsTradition.com. That is RegionsTradition.com. It's the Regions Tradition presented by Coca-Cola.
All right. Fuhrman, when you're back, just talk so that we'll be able to know you're back. Are you there? Nope. We're reconnecting with Todd Fuhrman there. In the meantime, I will say that the NFL owners have a decision to make. The Olympics coming to Los Angeles, and they're about to decide whether or not to let NFL players play in the Olympic flag football. Now, there's a good chance this is the only Olympics that flag football is ever going to be in.
Why is that?
Because each host country
gets
one sport that represents their country, and we put flag football
This
in.
is the closest we can get. Here's what I would say. there is no reason for the NFL stars to do this. We have really good, like, national flag football teams where it's a completely different sport, by the way. The Americans are going to dominate anyway. Let some guy win a gold medal that will never have that opportunity again.
Yeah, but you realize football is the only sport that you can go into in the country and not represent your country.
Right.
The players that decide to play that sport instead of basketball or baseball, it's the only sport that you cannot represent your country in.
But I would
say, of the big sports.
Yeah.
Like you can in baseball.
Oh, yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah.
But do you think that's really important to Justin Herbert?
I don't.
No.
I mean, because it is
he
flag
knew
football.
that. Yeah, he knew that when he started playing football.
Well, it's a completely different game. Basketball, baseball, I mean, you've got the same rules, basically. I mean, this is completely different.
One of the proposals is to only allow one NFL player on each country's team. And that becomes interesting. Which countries are represented and who could play for who has some heritage from a different country that could help out the flag football team of, say, Japan or Greece or England or somebody like that.
Not a lot. Yeah. I mean, you look in the NFL; it is very American.
Yeah.
You don't punt a lot in flag football, so I don't think the Australians help.
I mean, I think Goodell needs to say, "Hey, look, we're not letting anybody play. There's no reason to." As Americans, I always thought it was awesome that our amateurs could beat anybody in the world in basketball.
Yeah, I'm with you. I kind of wanted, like, Dream Team 1 was so incredible. I almost wanted that to be the end. You said that before.
It should have been, yeah. Like, you go in, you prove your point. If we really want to flex and bring our best, we can. We won every game by 50 points in 1992, then let it go, bring the amateurs back. But these flag football amateurs will destroy anybody else around the world.
Yeah.
Destroy.
I just... Like flag football, is he on the phone, Tyler? Okay. All right. Fuhrman is back with us. We can come back to that. Todd Fuhrman, bettheboardpodcast.com. Fuhrman, sorry about that. Don't know what happened with the internet slip up. You were right in the middle of some great point, I am sure.
There's no doubt about it. Clearly, I gave out the winners for the next 30 Super Bowls and 40 college football national championships, but we're not going to be able to get that back.
Unfortunately. All right, that will just live in Fuhrman's head right there. Let's talk about what Dunaway brought up. He says it's not a Game 7, but it feels like a Game 7 for the New York Knicks.
I think when you look at the Knicks, the fact that they're even at this point is pretty impressive. Now, the series dynamic changes a ton, of course, with the Celtics going into battle without Jason Tatum. But I think sometimes that lifts the burden and some of the pressure off a Celtics team that was clearly not playing their best basketball. Let's see how the Knicks handle business at home as a 2.5 point favorite tonight, and we'll see if the Celtics are able to get their outside shooting going. But I think Boston is far from dead in this series and really think they have an excellent opportunity to push this to a Game 7 and maybe have a chance to erase that 3-1 series deficit.
Yeah, look, and if it goes to Game 7, Boston's favored.
Yeah, Boston will open in that 4.5, 5 range. Actually, I take that back. I think they'll open a shade shorter given the fact they closed in that must-win situation in Game 5 right around 4.5.
How big is the Aaron Gordon injury as Denver and OKC will play a Game 7 back in Oklahoma City on Sunday afternoon?
You want all hands on deck for a team like the Nuggets, but you look at how many Game 7s Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic have played in compared to the Oklahoma City Thunder roster. You can understand that they get a huge edge in experience. But Aaron Gordon has kind of been an X factor. We know about the late game heroics. We know what kind of tenacity he can bring on the defensive end. And I think that's part of the reason that this total is a little bit higher than what we anticipated, hanging around that 212, 213 range, not really forcing bettors to pay a true premium for that Game 7 situation.
Todd Fuhrman, bettheboardpodcast.com. Bet the Board, are y'all okay if I go football?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bettheboardpodcast.com, because we had Orlovsky on yesterday. And he was one of the first guys to start talking about this on ESPN when the schedule release came out. Troy Aikman goes on Good Morning America, picks the Dallas Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. Daryl Moose Johnston is on our show the next day. He said, when I told him, he said, Troy did what? But their win total, Fuhrman, is 7.5. I mean, that feels low, and I know this is how Vegas was built. You live out there in a very nice town because of people saying stuff like I'm about to say. That seems like easy money.
I mean, look, Troy must be angling for a front office job with Jerry Jones if he decides he wants to get out of the broadcast booth, because I do not have the Cowboys, even one of the front runners in the NFC, let alone being a Super Bowl contender. But you mentioned the win total at 7.5, and that is down substantially from where it closed last year in that 9.5 range. and they got a ton of professional money under. You can also make the case that they're the third best team in their division behind the Eagles and the Commanders. This is a team I'm interested to see how they look offensively. That we know they added some weapons, still questions about the backfield, but we'll see if George Pickens can be a perfect complement to what CeeDee Lamb provides on the other side. If the defense trends up, my biggest skepticism, guys, is the move they made at head coach. I don't see Schottenheimer as an upgrade over what they were getting in Mike McCarthy.
So Dunaway came in this morning and he said, is it possible the Bills are favored in all 17 games? And I didn't believe it, and then I looked at the schedule, and I'm like, on paper right now, they would be favored in all 17 games. Their win total is 11.5 minus 160 to the over. I went through it for him, and if Josh Allen stays healthy, there's really only 6 games that look losable on that schedule. Would you play the over 11.5 minus 160?
Only way to look with the Buffalo Bills, because you go through that schedule, like you mentioned, LT, and their most difficult games outside of the division all come at home. I mean, the schedule makers did them a huge favor for a team that should be playing a more difficult and grueling approach in the 2025 season. But there's also a reason that Buffalo is the short shot as well to finish the season with the best regular season record at a shade more than 4-1. If Buffalo doesn't get the number 1 seed in the AFC, if we assume that Josh Allen stays healthy, it would be a huge disappointment for a team still looking to try and break through, get to the Super Bowl, and potentially win the first one in franchise history.
Am I an idiot for feeling more comfortable playing Baltimore over 11.5 than I am playing Buffalo over 12.5? I feel like I'd go under Buffalo over Baltimore. Call me crazy.
I think you begin to wonder where Buffalo's focus wanes late in the year, but I think this is a franchise that knows how close they've been so many seasons, so they're going to leave nothing to doubt. For me, with the Ravens, I love the roster from top to bottom, but it's still a tougher division than what the Bills will have to go through in the AFC East. So I don't have a strong opinion on the Ravens at 11.5. But I wouldn't argue them getting to the 12-win threshold either.
Was there a team that was a big mover just based on schedule for you? I mean, obviously Vegas already knows the opponents, but to see how the bye weeks fall, road games back-to-back, things like that, was there anybody that you looked at the schedule and one way or another you thought, okay, I may move them up or I may move them down?
The Seattle Seahawks, a team that I had some questions about coming into the season, I have moved them down. And you've seen some books take their win total at 8.5, tick that down to 7.5. They were kind of the biggest mover. The Arizona Cardinals get a slight bump up with their schedule and a relatively soft landing spot out of the gates, especially with the way road games set up. And they'll be able to avoid some cold weather climates. The other team that I think will have their hands full will be the Detroit Lions. You look at who they have to play the first 6-8 weeks of the season, there's not a whole lot of guaranteed wins. And for a franchise breaking in a new offensive and defensive coordinator at the same time, hoping that they don't have a step back could be a leap of faith.
Okay, Dunaway asked me this earlier, so I'm going to ask you the same and see if you answer it the same. Would you take Texas to win the SEC or the combination of Alabama, Georgia, LSU?
I'm taking the field for sure. I think this Texas roster takes a step back from where they were. And while I know the recruiting ranks have been good, they check a lot of boxes on paper, and all of the optimism is through the roof as it pertains to what Arch Manning is going to do under center. I think anytime you have an opportunity to grab the field that's as talented as that particular trio you rattled off, I'm going to take that all day instead of just backing the horns.
I don't think I can bet it this way, but if I had SEC player or not to win the Heisman, where would you go on that? Because obviously Arch is going to be high in the odds. Garrett Nussmeier is going to be one of the favorites as well. Lenora Sellers, DJ Lagway. Are you an SEC Heisman guy early on, or do you think it's somewhere else?
I think there are plenty of other worthy candidates that are out there. When you look at the odds board, Arch and Garrett Nussmeier are going to get a ton of buzz, but you have an ACC quarterback in Cade Klubnik for a Clemson team that's getting a lot of attention in the futures market. Then it's where the Ohio State and Penn State contingent starts to slot in there with Julian Sayin, Jeremiah Smith, and while I'm not going to back Drew Allar, I do have to give him a little bit of credit for a returning quarterback with a stacked roster. So for me, I'd set that number right around a pick 'em, honestly, and I think it's a fair way to look at the landscape. And while Travis Hunter was a bit of a unicorn last season, I think there is a path for guys coming from some of the smaller leagues if they put up gaudy numbers to dethrone a player coming out of the
SEC, Big Ten, or maybe even the ACC.
All right, before you go, Fuhrman, on the golf side, as the PGA Championship continues, other than Bryson DeChambeau, does it seem to you that the LIV golfers, especially the big name ones, the Dustin Johnsons, Brooke Koepkas of the world, Phil Mickelson, underperform their past majors history since they've joined the LIV? Does that question make sense?
Yep, it makes a ton of sense, and the numbers kind of support that sentiment. It's like a lot of these guys, when they get life-changing money, have fully checked out and don't have any interest in winning some of these majors. So aside from Bryson, the one guy that does get attention and did in the Masters, got a little bit coming into the PGA, was Joaquin Niemann. But he doesn't appear poised to take that next step and beat some of the best golfers in the world. So for whatever reason, it looks like it's Bryson kind of being the torchbearer, although I would have had a slightly different tune before Tyrell Hatton decided to blow up and yell at every club in his bag like most recreational golfers do in a Sunday morning round.
And like Tyrell has done numbers of times, by the way. It's not the first time for him on this.
I hate you, 4-iron. Don't you look at me that way, 7-iron.
That guy, the between the ears is a lot of the battle for that guy. He's immensely talented, obviously. All right, he is Todd Fuhrman, bettheboardpodcast.com for everything, including NASCAR. He's really good at NASCAR, too, if you want to play some of that on DraftKings or wherever you might play. Fuhrman, thank you very much for the time. Have a great weekend.
Always a pleasure, gents. You guys do the same.
All right, buddy. At Todd Fuhrman on social media, bettheboardpodcast.com. He was with us on the Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline, our guy, Alexander Shunnarah.
Tell us more about
Sure,
Alexander
I'd love
Shunnarah.
to. Yeah, 24 years in Birmingham. He has built an incredible practice, as you guys know. 150 lawyers supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. The elite trial lawyers they have recovered more than $2 billion, maintaining Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. You hope you don't find yourself in need of a lawyer, but you always want to have a good one on standby, and that's our guy, Alexander Shunnarah. Alexander Shunnarah, Trial Attorneys, Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com.
And another Vulcan Tire automotive update from the PGA Championship. We'll let Brown give it to us this time, but I would love you also to point out a couple of the LIV guys that are underachieving right now. It's all brought to you by our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive.
Hey, a lot of people getting on the road this weekend, especially next weekend for Memorial Day. Make sure your car is properly serviced, bumper to bumper. Vulcan, they've got the best tire prices guaranteed when you mention the next round. Get in one of those convenient locations throughout Birmingham. Remember, your car works hard for you. Let them return the favor at Vulcan Tire and Automotive.
I'm just going to do the big names, Dunaway, because frankly, when some of these guys join LIV, I forget about them unless they're really big names. I just do not watch the LIV at all. Bryson DeChambeau is one guy that probably has performed up to his majors level before he joined LIV. He's tied for 24th right now at 2 under par. But when is the last time you've seen Dustin Johnson do anything?
Oh,
I mean, that guy's almost forgotten about, right?
Yeah.
He mentioned Hatton, who's 1 under right now, but he's had a little bit of a blow up today. When is the last time you've seen John Rahm do much of anything? I know he won the Masters not long ago, but John Rahm doesn't seem to. I'd have to go look at his last few majors. Doesn't seem like he's in contention for a lot of these majors, does he? He's tied for 39th at 1 under. I mean, Brooks Koepka, that guy used to be. He was as easy money as you could find in a major. Brooks Koepka was. He was in the mix for every last one of them. These guys, I think it's more than just the money. I just don't think it's the same level of competition. It's not the grind that the rest of these guys that are on the regular tour are going through competition-wise, and it does not keep your game sharp enough. I mean, they feel like they're out there almost playing a corporate scramble sometimes, it seems like. And your game just doesn't stay sharp, and when the majors roll around, you got to be sharp, and I just don't think these guys are. Did you want a leaderboard update in addition to that?
No,
I mean,
Vegas still leads
7
it.
under, yeah, Johnny Vegas.
By a couple, and Homa's the big mover today, like we said in the last segment there, brought to you by our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive. One more thing to get to in this segment, right after LT tells us about our friends at Woodhouse. Still time to get out of that doghouse that you created for yourself on Mother's Day.
I had a buddy call me this morning, and he's like, hey, tell me a little bit about Woodhouse Day Spa. And I was like, man, conveniently located at the Summit Shopping Center. So he's actually going to drive up there and pick up a couple of different things. I mean, they've got nice accessories, but you can go in, you can check out the facilities, but you can buy gift cards there. Or If you're like me and you just want to sit at home and order online, you can do that 24/7. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Get it for the wife, the girlfriend, mom, whoever out there you want to treat. Let them choose from a menu of over 70 options, including the massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Order that special person gift online 24/7, Birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or just stop into the Summit Shopping Centers and tell Stuart and that great staff the Next Round sent you.
To be entirely fair to Rahm, he had a top 10 in the British last year, tied for 7th, but he did not play in the Open, and he was not particularly close in the U.S. Open.
Dude, look at that. Is that a moccasin on the course?
Well, that is a snake, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of vipers that are there at the Quail Hollow. I don't know if that is one or not, but
well, I like this Marshall. He's just going to come out and grab it by the tail. Look at this.
Yeah, I wonder if that thing jumped up.
I know.
Bit him in the junk.
He's going to try to get him away from the shot that's coming up.
Yeah,
God, I hate snakes.
I do too. Kill them all, let God sort them out. That's what I say. That's a good snake, huh? He's in my yard. He ain't a good snake.
Yeah.
But Brooks Koepka, that's who I was talking about. After, when Liv first started, he was tied for second.
Did you see that?
No,
Yeah.
did it go like
it went up on him.
Yeah, got too close to the head there.
I mean, this Marshall, I'm like, dude, I am volunteering for a golf shirt and a free round of golf at Quail Hollow one day. I ain't chasing a snake.
Yeah, from a distance, it looked like a moccasin. Obviously, it's not, because I don't think this guy would be kicking it.
Yeah.
Because, if it's got the pointed head, it's venomous.
Yeah. I do think that's a venomous snake.
That's a long snake, I can tell you that. Why do you think it's a venomous snake? Because of the head?
Yeah. I mean, diamond, right? I mean, this.
Yeah.
That pointy head?
Yeah.
So, why doesn't... There's no way it is, because they've already been told it wasn't, because
I don't know.
There's just stepping all over it. Boy, I wish it would bite him.
They're having to drive it off into the gallery. Imagine standing in the gallery.
Who was the golfer standing there?
I don't recognize him.
Yeah.
He's got a stand bag, so I'm going to guess he's a
Do
club
you
pro.
think he would take a lot of heat from PETA if he just took out Wedge and just cut the head
He
off?
probably would. I think everybody else would applaud. But Koepka, he tied for second in the Masters and won the PGA, and everybody's like, see, the live guys, they can compete. Since then, middle of 2023, tied for 17th in the U.S., tied 64 in the Open Championship. His 2024, tied 45, tied 26, tied 26, tied 43, missed the cut at the Masters.
Wow.
And that guy used to be in the mix every single weekend in the majors.
Yeah, but they had money back then, so I don't know how different that is.
I see. That's what I'm saying, Lance.
No,
I think the money played.
Like he was a money.
Yeah,
like
he was.
He always showed up.
No, but I'm just saying that I think a lot of people say that. I mean, Fuhrman alluded to that.
Yeah.
Hey, once you get these big paydays, these guys aren't as interested.
I think that plays into it, but I think the bigger factor is they're just not in the same competitive nature as they once were playing on the live.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, you got to stay at the
gotta
top
stay
of your
sharp.
game. The thing I wanted to get to before we go to break here was Deion Sanders reaching out via social media to Mel Kiper after Kiper defending his son during the NFL draft.
He get a key to Deion's house?
Mel Kiper says Mario Cristobal claims he spoke to 1 million people about Cam Ward, yet the one he didn't speak to, being me, had Ward ranked higher, 6th on my big board, than any other draft expert. Interesting, isn't it? And oh, by the way, I didn't speak to Deion about Shedeur either. I need another orange crush after this nonsense. And then Coach Prime says, but I love you, man. You stood on the desk with great balance, 10 toes down, and said what you doggone said and didn't flinch. You knew what time it was, my man, and we're blessed to be right where God wanted us to be with opportunity. And they forget I was in the TV entertainment business for 20 years before coaching. Praying hands right there.
Yeah, if you don't think Deion misses his toes, subliminal right there, throwing the number in.
10 toes down.
Yeah.
Mel Kiper's kind of lost his. I've always thought Mel Kiper was somewhat entertaining. I always appreciated how hard he worked, but he's kind of lost his mind on this one.
Would it surprise you that if Mel Kiper is not part of ESPN next year?
I don't think it's
it
sooner than later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's going to retire at some point. Mel's been doing this a long time.
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me if they kind of push out a little bit.
I mean,
Phil Yates is one of their guys.
Yeah. And wasn't there this agreement with NFL Network and ESPN? I thought I remembered that. So DJ, would seem to become more prominent with ESPN if you had that agreement, but I really only see him on NFL Network.
Yeah, but like Rich Eisen is leaving the NFL Network, or at least going back to ESPN.
Well, it's his show, though. I think it's his daily show. I don't know that it's only NFL Network, but his daily show was only on...
No, it was buried. It was on, because I watched it a little bit.
NBC Sports.
Yeah, but it left NBC Sports, Jim, and it was only on one of the platforms. Like, you know how your Roku or whatever?
You know how I got it? And I saw it a couple of times because back when we had DirecTV, I'd put in, 205 or whatever to go to the sports channels. It was right there on one of the weird channels.
It's on the same place Dan Patrick's show is.
It is?
Yeah, it comes on after Dan Patrick.
But either way, that's going to ESPN, Rich Eisen is. So there's more of a marriage there. I mean, I don't know. I think Kuiper still has a big name. I mean, how often do we say Mel Kiper's got his mock draft out? Do we do that for Phil Yates?
Well, I mean,
if you were the only one, we would.
Well, it was like Tom McShay was going to take that over. And
there were some people that was making it sound like Rich Eisen could be front-facing some of the NFL coverage on ESPN.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like maybe that Sunday morning show leading into games.
Oh, okay.
That's Samantha Ponder, and I think the Greenberg has filled in the last 2 years.
Yeah, so they may go Rich Eisen on that?
I may be wrong about that.
Yeah,
but it's a McAfee-like deal for his show mostly.
Yeah.
I like Rich Eisen.
Yeah, 2003, last time he was on SportsCenter and ESPN.
Wow.
Long time there with the NFL Network. But some changes happening at ESPN.
So,
Interesting to see with Mel Kiper.
I always say this about Eisen. Saw him at the Rose Bowl, Bama, Michigan. Just almost ran into him. In fact, he was walking out of a suite. I was walking.
He's a little dude, isn't he?
That didn't jump out at me. What jumped out at me, though, he was head to toe Michigan, like Michigan hat, Michigan shirt. Even after he walked past the turnaround, he had custom. I don't know if they're custom, but like Michigan Nike shoes.
Yeah,
and they're not even in the, well, I guess they're a Jumpman.
I don't know if they were very, very hungry fan base going into that.
Indeed,
that playoff.
Indeed.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll do our 40 and 40 team, our first SEC team in the countdown, and this bottom fell out in our rankings for this team. We'll talk about them coming up on the other side. The show today being brought to you by our friends at Lags. Man, it's the weekend. That includes the extended hours to 2 a.m.
Yeah, so whether you want breakfast, lunch, dinner, or you just want to get in there late night after a night of having a couple of cold beers at one of those breweries around there. It's located conveniently between Cahaba Brewing and Avondale. It's just a stone's throw away from Mom's Basement. But get in, see Eric, Justin, the fine folks there. Nostalgic brand, created back in the 80s, 90s, right there on Broadway in Homewood. Fantastic food, from the burgers, the bologna sandwiches, the chicken sandwiches, the great sides, the crispy fries and tots. Again, get in for one of those, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or late night, make it Lags Eatery.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
There's no off-season at covercrimson.com. Sign up now and get daily shows plus behind-the-scenes intel that will keep your Alabama fandom rolling all the way up until kickoff. Follow Cover Crimson on all social platforms and sign up today at covercrimson.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party is back. The Regions Tradition, presented by Coca-Cola, returns to Greystone May 14th through 18th. Watch golf's greatest legends and don't miss the star-studded Celebrity Pro-Am, featuring Nick Saban, Charles Barkley, Nate Oates, Hugh Freeze, and country star Riley Green. Soak up the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. Enjoy the local food trucks and cap off the fun with Monsters of Yacht in concert Saturday following play. The Regions Tradition, presented by Coca-Cola. Get your tickets now.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We'll get to our 40 and 40 in just a second, our four downs later in the show. And we'll hear from Nate Oates about the facility, basketball-only facility that's being built in Tuscaloosa. But first, this hour being brought to you by our friends with the Birmingham Stallions. They're back at it again, trying to make it to the playoffs and win their fourth straight spring championship.
UFLstallions.com. That is the website to go to, Dunaway. It is fourth straight, right? We brought that up with Daryl Moose Johnston.
They won the USFL.
Just sounds crazy, yeah.
USFL and then the two USFL and then the one UFL.
Yeah.
And now they're in the hunt again for the playoffs to try to make it four-peat.
So I got really good feedback on the Moose interview, too.
I think people liked Moose. He's genuinely a nice guy.
No,
We've had him on several times. Big name, obviously, but genuinely a nice guy. I'm with you. A lot of people are like, man, I really like when y'all have Moose on. So we need to do that again. The Stallions will be back Saturday the 24th, 2 o'clock, Fan Appreciation Day. Live pregame band, giveaways from Piggly Wiggly and Stanley's Birthday Bash. See all the things you need to know about the Stallions. Look at the schedule and get tickets to Pack Protective when they return to Birmingham. UFLstallions.com, UFLstallions.com.
All right. And, of course, our 40 and 40 every day brought to you by the great folks at Champions Boxing. LT in love with this new training that he and his son are doing right now. They bring us the 40 and 40 every day.
Well, there's a couple of angles to take here. Look, if you're looking to get back into some really good shape, I was talking to a kid there that has lost 35 pounds in the last 6 months.
Wow.
You're seeing, look, there's Jack Taylor hitting the heavy bag yesterday. My man Jake with the noodle, making sure he keeps those hands up, which he's not doing a good job of. But Jack's already lost over 10 pounds. I've lost over 10 pounds. We're 5 weeks into this. We're really only going twice a week. How about this? What do you think a gym membership to Champions is per month?
Gosh, I don't know. You're going twice a week?
Yeah, and I can go, I can go 7 days a week if I want.
Yeah, per month.
Probably not good to guess. You're going to maybe under or over guess. What do you think it is?
$125 a month.
I was going to say 250. I was going double, 250.
And it's basically a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys are interested, but we're thinking about doing a little team outing down there. Some good content for Taylor to throw up on social media.
Absolutely.
But boxing, fitness, competition, all ages starting at 9 years old, from 9-year-old boys in there to 60-year-old women in there. I mean, it's all over the place. 8 USA boxing certified coaches, and not only in boxing, but strength and conditioning as well. Coaches have experience, amateur, professional, Olympic levels. Akash, I mentioned our man there, Jake, mailman. Anyone looking for a workout different from just throwing up a barbell, come check them out. Any former athlete maybe looking to try another sport to compete in after high school and college. They have a competitive team. They travel. The next date, I think, is June 7th. I forgot where they were going. We had 3 fighters in Lexington last week. No pressure to spar, but if you want to, it's 100% safe and controlled. Team and family oriented. Helps in teaching discipline and fundamentals. For more information, check them out on Instagram at Champions Boxing AL. Facebook is at Champions Boxing AL as well. And the website, which will be launching soon, championsboxingal.com.
That gets us to our 40 and 40, one team every day. And today it's an SEC team coming in at number 37 after giving you Tulane and Navy and Memphis. The Missouri Tigers come in at 37. That would not excite anyone in the Show Me State at this point, guys.
It would not. I mean, I think they were kind of a sexy playoff pick. We made light of it with Klatt when after that comeback win over South Carolina, Drinkwitz was like, "We're still in the playoffs." I was like, "Please." I mean, but they were kind of in the discussion in November, Lance, and 39th is a long way from playoff discussion.
No, it's a long way from playoff discussion, and you're breaking in a new quarterback, and is it going to be Bo Perbilia that we saw backing up Drew Aller last year? Is it going to be Sam Horn? They've got a combined 64 college pass attempts between the two of them. Look, they've got maybe the softest road schedule you'll ever see in the SEC. Yep. They avoid LSU, they avoid Georgia, they avoid Texas, Florida, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. So 3 college football playoff teams from last year. So the schedule is beneficial. I just don't know what you're going to get at the quarterback position. Defense better than advertised last year. They were 20th nationally in scoring defense, only giving up right at 20 points per game. I think they're favored in 9 or 10 games.
I mean, am I wrong? They start with 5 wins.
Yeah, because
Central Arkansas win, Kansas at home win.
I wouldn't say Kansas at home win. That's a toss-up game.
Okay. Louisiana win. That's 3. UMass is 4. And State is 5. I mean, that's, to me, you start with 5 wins right there. You just, you need to find.
I saw one article yesterday that I was reading. Best case scenario, they start 10-0 before they head to Norman to take on Oklahoma. And I'm like, if they
I don't know how that's
if
best
they
case.
beat South Carolina, Alabama on the road against Auburn and A&M.
Yeah. That is a best case scenario, no doubt.
Yeah, Eli Drinkwitz, national coach of the year if that happens. I think this is more of an 8-4 team. I think they come back to the pack a little bit.
So we got them way too low then.
Well, 39 is probably what, 5-7, 6-6?
37, yeah. That's 37 is
6-6.
I'll tell you what, I did not check out when I was looking at Missouri was the schedule.
Easy.
Because you think you went a little too low?
Well, they're 100th out of 136th in returning offensive production. They're 68th in defense and returning production.
Defense will be their calling card.
It will be. And I don't know what you're going to get at the quarterback position. Brady Cook was steady Eddie. And you lose your best defensive player who goes in the first round of the NFL draft. You lose your best offensive player in Luther Burden, who goes in the second.
Yeah, who oftentimes was absent in that offense.
He was, but he was still your best offensive player.
Defensive coordinator still had to pay him attention, whether he was giving effort or not. There was not a defensive coordinator that was going to say, hey, let's just don't cover Luther Burden on this one. They still had to pay the guy attention.
Yeah, much like Auburn on early Big 12 matchup with Baylor, if Missouri gets by Kansas, that's kind of that swing game, whether, if you want to make that run back for 9, possibly 10 wins if everything broke the right way, got to grab Kansas at home.
I did not have Missouri in my top 25.
I did not either.
I did not either. Yeah. I don't have a problem with them being out of the 25. 37 feels a touch low, but I mean, I guess if they're 5-7, I just gave them 5 wins. If they lose those other games, that's probably 37 to 40, somewhere in there.
I'm trying to see where I sent, not that it matters, but I am interested to see where I had them because I didn't realize how beneficial the schedule was.
Yep. I think you had them around 37.
But I will say this. Scott's got that video or that schedule up. If I told you they lost 4 straight games in the middle there, Alabama at home, Missouri, or Alabama at home, on the road at Jordan-Hare, on the road at Vandy, and A&M at home, That's not crazy right there. I
No.
mean, 4 straight losses in the middle of the schedule.
I had them 38th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right about where our listeners do.
Yeah.
That's.
But I didn't realize how that schedule. I mean, you tell me somebody else has got 4 road games as easy as that in the SEC.
But you could also see them losing to Kansas, losing to South Carolina, losing to Alabama, losing to Auburn, losing to Texas A&M, losing to Oklahoma, and going in to that Arkansas game on the road, needing that win to make a bowl game.
Yeah, and Arkansas may too, by the way, or to save Sam Pittman or something like that. Yeah.
So I can see that's why I did not have them in my top 25, because I think they lose to South Carolina, lose to Alabama, lose to Auburn, lose to Texas A&M, lose to Oklahoma, lose to Arkansas, and probably drop another one along the way too. Not a good year for Missouri. In my book, 37th in your book, brought to you by our friends at Champions Boxing. We appreciate them so much. In our 40 and 40 countdown, we will go to 36 next week and give you 5 new teams, counting down one every show until we get to SEC Media Days. Bojangles bringing you part of the show today, Brownie.
Yeah, it can be bow time for you at lunch today from sweet to heat. Bojangles got 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with the sauces than the hand-breaded tenders right there at Bojangles. So if you want some sweet, try honey mustard. Want some tang, try barbecue. Want some heat? How about creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper? If you want smooth and creamy, the house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic Bo sauce ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. As always, it's bow time.
Here's the question I have to ask for you guys today on college football, and I'd love to hear what the chat room thinks about this. There's a guy in Ohio, state congressman, and this was viewer submitted yesterday, but I didn't get to it, who is trying to pass a bill to make it to where Ohio State plays 0 11 o'clock games, except for Michigan.
That's right.
No 11 o'clock games allowed.
Which is weird. We like it from Michigan, but we just don't want it any other time.
Now, I asked this question, should the SEC limit the number of certain kick times that each institution has to play? 11 o'clock, 2:30, night games, that kind of thing.
LSU would say yes.
I know, limit the number.
No, I'm saying LSU would say yes, so at least it would limit some of the early games.
Yeah, but it would also limit their number of night games.
Good.
I think no to this, but I'm interested to see what you guys think. Should the SEC get in? Because the NFL has it where you can only play a certain number of Thursday night games, right? They've made it to where you can't be saddled with a bunch of Thursday night games.
But that's a competitive disadvantage because of the short weeks. Playing at 11 o'clock is not a disadvantage.
Well, LSU fans would argue, I mean, and I get what you're saying, and I agree with you, but LSU fans would argue it is because they don't have to do night game Tiger Stadium. But that's on your fans. Y'all got to show up and get drunk early and be loud.
Why do we have so much money in the SEC? TV contracts. And look, with 16 institutions, I mean, somebody's got to play the 11 o'clock games. I don't like the 11 o'clock games.
I'm not crazy about them, but I thought this Ohio congressman looked like a complete idiot. When your school is making so much money off of Fox Sports, so much, they can barely count it, off of Fox Sports. And Fox biggest game of the day is at 11 Central, 12 Eastern. And you're trying to say we don't want Ohio State to ever play in that except for once a year. I mean, I'm sure Ross Bjork, the Ohio State athletic director, that day would say, what is this idiot doing?
Yeah.
Does he know how much money we make off Fox?
And for him, as you said, to select that, well, we'll play Michigan 11.
Yeah, we'll play that one at 11, our biggest game of the year, but we don't want to play the other games at 11. It really made no sense. This is just when lawmakers try to pander to the public. I guess Ohio State fans are bitching about 11 a.m. kicks because Fox does show them a lot.
Well, that's what I was about to say, Brandy. I was about to use Alabama as a comparison here. During Nick Saban in the heyday, you could book Alabama at 2:30 about 6 or 7 times a year.
Right.
2:30 on CBS because CBS wanted to carry Alabama because they were the best in the sport at the time. So either whether they were winning or losing, you wanted Alabama in at 2:30. That's where Ohio State is right now, and their TV partner's biggest game is 11 o'clock. So you're going to get an enormous amount of 11 o'clock games last year, year before that, and in the near future, as long as Fox decides to put their biggest game at 11.
And your two best teams in the conference, and I don't think this is going to change much over the years, are Ohio State and Oregon. and they can't show any Oregon home games at 11 o'clock because of the time difference.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock.
They can't show
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. They can't show any USC home games, which is a big draw on TV because of the LA market and the name USC.
That was one of the weirder things. I don't know if you guys probably do remember this, but in 2020, there were 9 o'clock a.m. kicks.
Yeah,
West
so
Coast.
weird. But so they're basically, Jim, they're limited. When you go big names, they're limited at Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State to show home games. Fox is. Until Nebraska gets good, or until, even when Indiana got good, they had not planned on Indiana getting good, so they were unable to show some of those games. So, I mean, until some of these other schools get good, Ohio State's going to be playing a lot of 11 o'clock home games.
And that's why,
that's
why really this guy really looked like an idiot for trying to squeeze this down.
It's pandering to local fans. This guy knows he can't do anything about this. Ohio State doesn't want him to do anything about this because they want the money. This is just pandering to voters on something silly that will get him votes. I don't know if he's Democrat or Republican. I have no idea, but it's a dumb thing to do, and it's just pandering, and it's why people end up disliking politicians when they do stuff like this. But wouldn't you say, though, if you put this up to a vote in the Deep South, it was on every ballot that's a Southeastern Conference state, to eliminate one time, everybody in the world will pick 11 o'clock.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I mean, that would walk through every single Southeastern state.
I mean, especially if you're going to Tuscaloosa, Auburn, 11 o'clock. Like, what is the benefit from playing 11 o'clock? Like, if you're at home, then it gives you the opportunity to watch the rest of the games, I guess, pressure free for the rest of the day for the players, the coaches,
or disgruntled, one of the two.
Yeah, they get to go home and they get to watch the rest of the games and get a little bit of a breather. But for the fan base, I think it's more fun tailgating all day and getting ready for that game that night.
That was the big complaint from Alabama fans during the best time in Alabama football history was we don't get enough night games.
Yeah. But I do remember now, I will rewind because I was about to ask this question to you. And you're right. Bama didn't get a lot of night games. They had a lot of 2:30 games. To get a night game, it almost took CBS moving the LSU game tonight.
Right.
But I do remember this, Dunaway, and you guys, I think, will both remember this. We were in radio at the time. 2015 Alabama Ole Miss at Bryant-Denny Stadium, I think, was scheduled for an 8:15 Central Time kick.
People went nuts.
I think the game before obviously went long because ESPN never allows enough time for games. And I don't think they kicked that game until there's a limit as to how far you can push it back. And they
15 minutes, I think.
Is it 15? I thought I was going to say 20, but maybe it was. So I don't think they kicked it till 8:30, which probably realistically meant 8:32, 8:33. Don't you guys remember the fans the next day calling us and like, man, I was stuck on I-20. I didn't get home till 4 in the morning, and they were coming back to Birmingham. I can't imagine going to other places.
Yeah.
But I bet you fans would take that over 11 a.m.
That becomes a little bit more debatable.
Yeah,
I would rather have the 8:15.
I mean, they were fans were upset about that.
I mean, if you got a hotel room, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. You just go back to the hotel. You maybe tailgate a little bit and head to the hotel. But people that were driving back home, they were on the road a long time after that game.
Michelson Laser Vision with our look at today. We're going to look at where everybody stands in 24/7 recruiting right now. USC lost a big linebacker that Alabama is in the mix for, but where Auburn and Alabama are in the rankings right now at 24/7 for the upcoming 2026 class may surprise you. Our Michelson look at that.
Yeah, make the phone call that I made more than 2 decades ago. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts, was wearing contacts each and every year for almost a decade. I was wasting money on the contacts and solutions. Don't do it anymore. Stop procrastinating. If you've thought about LASIK, find out if it's right for you. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. They are going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation, 0 to lose, to find out if LASIK is right for you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Stay with us at the top of the hour. You'll hear from Nate Oates on facilities in Tuscaloosa. 2026 recruiting, I think this surprises some folks. USC number 1 right now, 24/7. 27 commitments.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and that's after they lost a big one.
So let me ask you guys this. Let's just say, and Dunaway, I know you're with me, that USC could be around 9-10 win mark. But if they win 7 games this year or 8 games and they finish with a number 1 recruiting class in 2026, That would give him a pass, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
because you're doing the future.
Yeah, sell the future at that point.
And how many 5 stars is that, Forrester? Give me Forrester's microphone back there. How many 5 stars do they have in that 20 of those 27 commits?
That says 0.
0.
A goose egg right there.
Okay. So how many 4 stars?
17.
17.
Yeah. He develops 4s into 5s all the
That's what
time.
Lincoln Riley's known for, right?
But that's a 5er he lost in Xavier Griffin there, the decommit there. He was the best of the class they have out there. Next is Notre Dame. As we go to the list, Ohio State, no surprise, Penn State. Oh, wait, where's the SEC? USC, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Penn State,
that
Clemson?
is, I mean, that's since I've been looking at recruiting rankings, and I know we're not big on this, I have never seen an SEC team, the first one, be outside of the top 5.
That is pretty crazy. But now this is the first time these guys can sign is in December, right? That's what we're looking at here?
December, yeah.
Okay, this won't hold. But I think there was a time where the top 5 teams were all SEC teams.
I know. That's the opposite.
But my point before we scroll on is this is the conversation that's being had around the country, that because of the NIL world and the ability to pay, and in some cases overpay right now, that the alumni bases of these big institutions and some of these big boosters can create an advantage that maybe the SEC doesn't have. USC, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Penn State, Clemson, then Texas A&M at 6.
Does Clemson have the big boosters?
They don't. 14 commitments, so a big drop-off there. And Texas A&M, LSU, Kansas with 10 commitments early on.
Okay, this list is tainted when you got Syracuse and Kansas in the top 10. Is it not?
We might be a touch early here. I will agree with Lance. Yeah.
Well, it is May.
Yeah.
A long way to go to December. Miami, Syracuse, a lot of big recruits out there still visiting. Illinois, there's Georgia. I mean, nobody's worried about Georgia. How many commits, Forrester, does he have now? Is that 9?
He's got 9. 1 5-star, 6 4 stars.
Yeah.
Okay, and so
nobody's worried about Kirby, right?
I mean, look, if realistically, is there anyone on this planet, if they're offered Illinois or Georgia, they're taking Illinois? Syracuse or Georgia, they're taking Syracuse. Kansas or Georgia, they're taking Kansas.
It's easy to say because it's not my money. I'd take less money to go to Georgia.
I mean, Kirby could go in and take all their recruits.
Yeah.
Remember, we talked yesterday about Cantwell, the 5-star plus tackle that went to Miami. Kirby was, I'm sure he's upset about it. He said when he was at Regions that I just would like freshmen not to make more money than the seniors.
Yeah.
Why he offered $1.25 million to Cantwell. Miami offered him $2.5 million. But he says, in my world, freshmen shouldn't make more than seniors.
Miami winning a recruit over Georgia, I can stomach that. I'm just saying these other ones, they don't make a lot of sense.
Arkansas, Louisville, Arizona State. I know the commitments skew this number at 24/7. It all works out in the end. Jim, I just wanted to make a point of where we are in May right now. Arizona State, North Carolina, Oregon. We're not even to Auburn or Alabama yet. SMU.
I mean, what are Hugh and Kalen playing too much golf,
Boston
Jim?
College, Washington, Oklahoma State, Florida State, Minnesota. Wait for it. Iowa. Got to be close to Auburn.
It's Mike Shula and Brian Harsin.
Texas Tech, Rutgers, Tennessee.
Go Vols.
There's Auburn.
It's a dumb list.
At 30.
It's Texas at 31?
7 commitments. How many of theirs are 5-star? 1?
Is that
1?
Is that Vanderbilt ringing the bell right behind Texas?
That's Vanderbilt right there.
How about that? Look at Clark Elite recruiting.
Little SEC run here. Mississippi State, UCF, Indiana, USF, Baylor. Where's that script A? BYU. There we are.
Here
39.
comes. Who are they,
Wait,
Jim?
so how many SEC teams are above Bama right now, according to this ridiculous ranking from 24/7?
Almost all of them. 5 commits, but all quality.
Oklahoma's not below or above Bama.
Yeah, 1 5 and 4 4s.
So Bama's shopping in they're shopping in the high end stores right now.
Cartier. Yeah, Cartier watch.
I saw a photo of a guy, I don't even know who it was. He's wearing Louis Vuitton shorts. They're cargo shorts, Louis Vuitton cargo shorts, and I'm like,
that's what you wear on the course.
That's the most absurd thing I've ever seen.
A guy I played golf with yesterday had a Gucci hat on.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's a good looking hat.
And Dunaway told me that's my people out there.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting, coming off of Hugh telling us he needed one more top 10 class.
Hey, yeah, speaking of that, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong. Hugh Freeze drops right after the show today?
It does, right at noon.
Okay.
Yep.
Did we already say that when I wasn't here?
We did earlier on. Played a little Hugh Freeze soundbite from you earlier talking about his expectations, but it's worth reminding
6-6, Brown.
that Nate Oates is already up talking about facilities, his desire to coach in the NBA, and other things. You can get that on our YouTube channel at Next Round Live, It's in the video section, our Coca-Cola Conversations. Nate Oates there, Nick Saban already up, and Hugh Freeze drops after the show. When we come back, we'll hear from Nate Oates on those facilities. We'll also look at ESPN's ranking today from Adam Rittenberg of the top coaches in college football. You don't have that placeholder that was Nick Saban there anymore. Who are the top 10 coaches in college football? We'll talk about that. And CBS Sports has divided the chance to be national champions into tiers. Is there anybody in tier 2 that you think has a chance to win a national championship? All that still to come on the show that's being brought to you today by our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
Great place to stop in, pick up fantastic meats for the weekend to grill out. Of course, coming up next weekend is Memorial Day. Jim and his fine staff want to remind you the Memorial Day Boston butt sale, hickory smoked, fully cooked, only $39.99. Order yours today, available for pickup May 21st through the 24th. Reservations only. Both locations are taking those reservations right now. The original Caba Heights, the Greystone location as well. If you're planning Memorial Day, I've had one of these before. They are absolutely fantastic. You're going to love it. The Memorial Day Boston butt sale, hickory smoked, fully cooked, only $39.99. Reservations only, both locations. Call Jim and the fine folks. Rare quality, well done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey friends, if you're looking to expand your business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us at sales@nextroundlive.com to be part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential consumers on our ever-expanding platform. Let the Next Round help take your business to the next level. Get more information by emailing us at sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time. So try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Still a lot to get to in this final hour before the weekend. LTD&B with you here on the next round. 99 days away from college football. Before I tell you about our friends at Champies, Forrester, did I send you that high school stadium? Another one of these massive high school stadiums they built.
Let me guess, Texas.
In the state of Texas.
Yeah.
There's no way. Now, before you show it, Forrester, how much do you think it costs to build like the stadium they have at Vestavia or Mountain Brook or
they built them so long ago.
Sport turf is like $3-4 million. I mean,
It's
I would
that
think.
much?
Oh, I thought the field was $1 million.
I thought sports turf was $500,000.
No, it's crazy. I mean, for a full football field, I would say it is definitely $2 million plus.
Yeah, I think if you went and built a nice high school football stadium in Alabama, what we would consider a nice high school football stadium in Alabama, I would say field turf and a nice stadium, you're in for $5 million.
Yeah, I was going to say $5 million with the lights and everything.
Yeah, just nice bleachers, good press box, good concession stands, good field house, all that. $5 million.
Scoreboard's going to be $500,000. I mean, I think you're spending half of it.
A lot of the scoreboards are donated by our friends at Coca-Cola.
No, they're doing these big. Coca-Cola still sponsors them. They're doing these video boards now.
Okay.
I bet. Did Moody do one, Scotty? Do you know what they pay for theirs?
I don't know what they paid for it, but it's nice.
You got a video board?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Dude, all these high schools around here have these video boards now because somebody has gone in and sold them, and then they go lean on the. And I shouldn't say lean on. I mean, the community invests, advertising and supports them.
I talked to somebody not long ago, and they said the sponsorship for the video board. I want to say it was $100,000 a year for a high school. I'm not exaggerating this.
Are you kidding?
I'm going to confirm for you.
$100,000 a year for a high school video board. I mean, he knows they play like 5 home games, right?
Yeah,
unless they hit the playoffs. That's a lot now.
$56 million to build this high school stadium. Take a look at it.
Wow, that's a nice stadium.
This is Laporte, Texas. $56 million high school football stadium.
I mean, I used to always say Protective's here now, but we used to always say, would UAB take that? And before Protective, UAB would have taken that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Some of the renderings there of the stadium that is being built there for $56 million at a high school.
Now, I don't want to pick it apart, but crappy end zone seats with the track.
Yeah, got a couple of upper decks there.
Yeah.
For visiting fans, I guess. I don't know. Good look right there, though, isn't it?
I mean, that's a pretty high school football stadium, but I cannot imagine.
Tyler, pull up some tech, or maybe Forrester, whoever can get it first. Tulane's home stadium.
Yulman Stadium, Jimmy.
The aerials from that. This is giving me Tulane home stadium vibes.
Back-to-back days, Tulane for you.
Yeah.
Now this
3 if you count the 40 and 40 this week.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they build these, like the school district builds these stadiums and several teams use it. But I think the way I look at this is a one-team stadium.
Okay, here's Tulane's home stadium over here. It's sort of the same feel, right?
I agree with you.
When did they build that one?
Well, I think it has been there a long time, but I think it had fallen into disrepair a little bit. And at some point I could be wrong about all this. Let me look up Yulman Stadium.
They used to play in the old Sugar Bowl
They did, and it was a terrible venue. You remember?
On campus at Tulane
It
Stadium.
opened September 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Against Georgia Tech. That's an old school SEC game.
How about this? Trustful built their stadium 10 years ago.
Okay. That's a really nice stadium, by the way.
$11 million 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's $56 million you just showed us. So 5 Trustfuls.
Yeah.
Tell you got 5 Trustfuls.
Well, I don't know. With the way the building is now, maybe.
Yeah, it's probably $20 million that cost on that.
Yeah.
So it's probably
That's a good point.
more than double.
Good point.
Yeah. Tyler, pull me up here at Trustful High School. Let's compare it to LaPorte.
Let's go to the stadium tour.
See if they got a Hewitt Trustful High School aerial.
Yeah, have you been to Hewitt Stadium?
I have not yet.
It's not going to compare. It's not going to compare to this one, but for Alabama, it is a very nice stadium.
It's the only stadium around here that I know of that has an elevator up to the
it
press
does have
box.
an elevator. Yep.
Did you ever use that elevator, Scott?
I have.
I have not. I know it exists, though.
So funny. We were talking to Caleb
Any of those
DeBoer.
aerials right
Do
there.
the second.
You remember our first conversation with DeBoer last year at the Alabama facilities, and he was talking about he was climbing a ladder to the press box when he was at Sioux Falls.
Yeah, it's a little different now. This is that's kind of a comparative photo. I mean, that's a really nice Alabama high school football stadium, and it pales in comparison.
And
to
that
one you
cost
just
how
looked.
much?
What'd you say, 11? Listen to Dunaway. Listen to Dunaway shoot. What'd you say, 11 million for
I
this?
mean, that's what, I got a random text that Trustful built their stadium 10 years ago, $11 million. That doesn't look like $11 million, but.
Well, I mean, guys, look.
They could have buried some gold in there.
They're also building an awesome softball facility across the street.
Are they?
Yeah.
A lot of property tax going on in Trustful there, apparently, Scott.
They got it going on at Hewitt
But
Trustful.
I mean, I know y'all are question 11 million, but I mean, it includes, I'm sure, those 2 field houses right there. I mean, that is a nice press
Well, I
box.
hope it does. I hope it includes everything.
Yeah.
The trees. Yeah, we're going to value the timber. Yeah. We're going to put it in here with it. I do want to know what the sports surf. Am I completely off? I'm going to say $2.5 million for a really good surface.
My buddy Mike Hill. Well, I can't. I don't want to give his pricing away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
$1 million.
What is it? Was he bidding stadiums today?
Well, yeah, no, that's what he does.
I think it's $1 million.
I'm going to text him.
I'm going to hold it $1 million.
I'm going to text my buddy Mike and ask him what they charge.
Oh, there it is right there. Look.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have text Mike now. 750 to 1.3 million. I was a little low. Y'all were a little high.
I wasn't. I was $1 million.
Sorry, Jim.
I'm
You were
in the
right on
middle.
it.
Yeah, I nailed it. The price is right. I'd walk away with both showcases today.
Well, I just, I got the small patch for Chili and Bullet out back, a sport turf. And I don't even know how many feet that was, but I just knew the pricing's insane for that.
Yeah, but that's we were catering to your.
I'm going to pay more per square foot than obviously if you're buying in bulk like this, but still super expensive.
Yeah, and
here it says that it can be $2 to $5 per square foot or $8 to $20 per square foot when you
throw in
consider
labor.
labor and installation.
Yeah, and I guess I can't bitch, but my dog sitters built a fire last time, and they dropped the poker on my artificial turf, so I've got like a big singe mark. So that square foot is
They
gone.
got to come cut that out and put it back in. Put a Rams logo on there.
I would.
Is it centered?
The show brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken down where they've got a great high school football stadium in Alabaster as well. Thompson Stadium's really cool. We won't tell you pictures of that. That took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. It's never that fast at Champy's, but hey, it is absolutely cooked to order. So it does take a little bit. It's not fast food. It's quality food right there at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Brined overnight, cooked to order, comes out piping hot, juicy all the way down to the bone. Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, hand-cut chicken fingers, and so much more. Show also brought to you by Dr. B. Tell us about Dr. B, and we'll get back to all the great stuff still to come on this show.
Dr. B, best in the business. When I started to thin out, when we started this venture over 3 years ago, I asked around. Dr. Beckenstein is the name everyone mentioned. I went to see Dr. B. Since that moment, my hair has more than doubled in thickness. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. And right now, T3's got that new test. It's so easy, painless, affordable. Takes 4 seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. There are over 10 categories of agents they use, knowing they will work for you. They will custom compound these agents for you in pill or topical forms. You pick and choose which agents you want. Men and women ordering Hims. Other products online don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Come see Dr. B. Find out what will work for you. 205-319-0316. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, T3hair.net.
We'll do the spotlight in a second. I'll ask you about CBS's tiered national championships, and would you take a team from Tier 2 to have a chance to win it all? But here's ESPN's Adam Rittenberg's top 10 coaches in college football right now. At number 10. Or should I start at number 1?
No, do number 10.
Is number 1 more obvious?
I don't know. Let's do number 1. It is more obvious.
Okay.
It's Kirby Smart.
Number 1 is Kirby Smart.
All right.
So no argument there, right?
Yeah. And then
if I go number 2.
Well, it depends on the age-old question. Do I rate this based on accomplishment? Do I rate this based on what they're doing right now? Do I rate this based on if I'm starting a program, this is who I want? I mean,
ranking the best coaches in college football for 2025.
I mean, I've got to factor in some accomplishment, which helps Dabo Swinney, Lance. But I don't know that I want to put him at number 2. But
that's what's like. If I'm just picking right now, I am saying Marcus Freeman would be my guy.
Yeah, but boy, that is such recency bias. I would not have said that last year.
So there is got to be some criteria here.
Yeah. Best coaches going into 2025. That's the criteria.
That is very broad. You wouldn't give me that's very broad, right?
Then I am still going to have to. I'm going to go Kalen DeBoer.
Marcus Freeman is number 4.
Right, okay.
The guy who actually won the national championship last year. You probably should start there in your
Ryan
discussion.
Day?
Ryan Day is number 2.
I would have probably had him number 2.
Okay.
Yeah, number 2.
I don't want to discount what he did, but it was $30 million, and you give a lot of guys that roster, they would have won a national championship.
Kirby 1, Ryan 2, Dabo Swinney 3, got him to the playoffs.
Yeah. He's won 2 national championships.
Some say could be the team to beat this year.
Okay.
Your guy Marcus Freeman 4. You are going to argue this all day long.
If you drop James Franklin here, it's a
Yeah,
throw the
yeah.
rip the list up. Sark, Franklin, or Lanning. At this point, you shred it in half, burn it, piss on it.
If you say
it's
Franklin,
the top 10, LT. We're at number 5.
Yeah, but it can't
those guys have to be in there.
No,
somewhere.
not James Franklin. Not at number 5.
No
Steve Sarkisian is 5.
I will take that over
okay
Franklin.
with that?
I mean, he's won one big game in his career, so I mean. You give me another game that he's won, a big game in his career.
Which one is the big game that he has won?
At Alabama.
The postseason game where he was a double-digit favorite.
You're giving him Arizona State is the one big game he's won. So at Alabama, you don't give any credence to. I would give him that one.
Okay,
That's 2 big games.
And he beat Clemson last year. That was bigger than the one over Arizona State.
Yeah, I mean, it was at home. That's 3. I give him 3.
Dan Lanning is 6. You okay with Lanning?
No. I mean, he was the number 1 overall seed last year, and he got dick kicked, then curb stomped.
Yeah,
I wonder if he's recovered from
I don't
that.
even think they found the body, Jim.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm doing a list of the 10, if I'm Adam Rittenberg,
okay,
Adams wears glasses.
So where's let me ask you this? Yeah,
if I'm Adam Rittenberg and I've got ESPN has called me up in the middle of the night,
we need content.
Let me make my hair messy as I'm waking up. ESPN's called me in the middle of the night.
We need content.
Adam, it's 99 days to the start of the college football season. I know you've got 99 problems, but LT ain't one.
Oh, God.
But
that's awful.
You got to do 10 lists. You got to do top 10 college coaches.
But there are 2 obvious guys that need to be in front
of those guys.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer is 7.
Kalen DeBoer.
He's 7.
And Brian Kelly. And say what you want about Brian Kelly the last couple of years at LSU, but I'm just talking about...
He's more accomplished than Dan Lanning.
Yeah, not even close.
Now, I would, if I'm starting a program today, I probably take Lanning in front of Kelly. I'm not going to lie, but Kelly is certainly more accomplished.
Sark at 5. Sorry, I just woke up, guys. Yeah, put Sark at 5.
Okay.
Dan Lanning at 6. They haven't won any big games. Well, yeah, they have. No, they haven't. Listen to LT.
No, they beat Ohio State at home. That's a big one, right?
Yeah.
Dan Lanning?
Look, I hate that I'm pissing on dudes that you love and you lick up and down.
I don't really talk.
But it's fact.
Kalen DeBoer is 7. James Franklin is 8.
I can live with it.
I think Brett Bielema is more accomplished than James Franklin. I'm not saying I would put him on this list. I'm just throwing a comparison out there.
I mean,
like I don't understand the Franklin love at all.
Okay.
Like last year was the first really good season he's had.
Let me call a timeout right here. May I call a timeout, Adam?
Yeah.
How do we not have Lincoln? Why would we not have Lincoln Riley in front of James Franklin?
Unless it is, I mean, again, I don't know what the criteria is.
It's going into 2025. These are the
best
coaches going into
Lincoln
2025.
Riley has been a main. Now, it has not worked out at USC. I agree, but he at Oklahoma was a mainstay in the college football playoff.
Yeah. Okay, so is he coaching at Oklahoma in 2025? That's the criteria. Best coaches in 2025.
Well, I'm just saying, Jim. Would you rather have Lincoln Riley or James Franklin? You're starting Dunaway University today. You can hire anybody you want, but
First of all, our cheerleaders would rip off the USC look.
100%. They wouldn't go Texas Chaps?
No, we'd go USC all day long.
So you hire Dunaway University, and you've got to pick between Lincoln Riley and James Franklin. Who you taking?
I'm taking Lincoln Riley because
I don't even think twice about it.
I think they're back this year. I think they're playoff contender.
You don't think twice about it?
Oh no, because there was that James Franklin was in the mix to get the job, and I sure as hell didn't want.
Yeah.
Okay. With all the names that LT's complained about, here's one he's going to agree with that I don't think belongs on the list.
Yeah, and let me say this real quick. You've got to make a list, and there's a lot of these guys that probably aren't deserving. So when you put this together, but Lane Kiffin should be over some of these guys.
Ooh, that's big coming from
I
you.
know.
So we're James Franklin at 7 is where we are.
I thought I had him at 8. Yeah, 8.
I'm
James
sorry.
Franklin.
DeBoer was 7?
DeBoer was 7.
I'm almost ready to say that Lane Kiffin is more accomplished than Dan Lanning.
Kyle, you always tell me Lane Kiffin hasn't won a game.
But he really hasn't.
Big game.
Yeah, but it's such a much more difficult job than Oregon.
Isn't his biggest win ever really the Georgia win this past season?
Yeah. Kyle Whittingham is 9. I wouldn't have put him on this list.
Oh, I definitely would have.
Yeah, Lance is a big fan of this guy.
Such more accomplished than all those other guys you were talking about.
Matt Campbell rounds it out at 10.
Matt Campbell more accomplished.
So no Lane Kiffin, no Lincoln Riley, huh?
No, Matt Campbell is more. I mean, he does it with less at
a
Iowa
lot
State.
Less.
Okay.
Yeah, give me this. All right, let's.
No Brian Kelly, no Lane Kiffin.
So Iowa State has played for multiple Big 12 championship games. That's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. That is crazy. All right, let's do this again. Dunaway or Lance University. You could hire Lane Kiffin or Matt Campbell.
Sad. No.
I think I'd go Lane Kiffin. I respect Matt Campbell. Here's my fear, Lance. Here's my fear.
Yeah, I don't know. I will take. So the offense is going to be fun to watch.
With Kiffin?
Yeah. So I probably would go Kiffin. And we don't know what Matt Campbell would do with better talent.
That's my fear is if I get Matt Campbell out of the gritty underdog program, what do I get?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I might get better than Lane Kiffin. I have no earthly idea.
Might get the best coach in the history of college football.
I could. You'll never know because you probably never see it. I don't know if the guy coaches anywhere but Iowa State. But I don't know what I'm getting there. And again, I don't know that I've seen Lane Kiffin. The funny thing about that is I've actually seen Lane Kiffin not with the gritty underdog program, and he was not good.
Right.
Got fired on a tarmac at USC.
But in fairness, this is 12 college football reporters, including Adam at ESPN, making this list combined, and they've got a point system for that. 11 of the 12 votes for first place went to Kirby Smart. So just making a point there. Here are the guys who just missed the top 10. Brian Kelly was 11. Bill Belichick was 12.
Bill Belichick? He's never coached a college game in his life.
That's kind of laughable.
Yeah.
Signetti, Lance. So again, going into 2025, he's coaching college in 2025.
Oh, yeah.
Signetti, Lance Leopold, Jeff Monken, Jeff Brom, Kenny Dillingham, Lane Kiffin.
Are you kidding me? Whoa.
Yeah, Kiffin pissed off Adam somehow.
Give me that run.
12 voters. That's why I said that before we got to that.
Give me that run in front of Kiffin.
I was just holding on to the Adam Rittenberg.
Give me that run in front of Kiffin right there again.
Brian Kelly.
Okay, I'll take
Bill
that.
Belichick.
No.
Kirk Signetti.
No.
Lance Leopold.
No.
Jeff Monken.
No.
Jeff Brom.
No.
Kenny Dillingham.
No.
Lane Kiffin.
I don't know. Like
Kenny Dillingham
over Lane Kiffin.
Yep.
Kenny Dillingham has had one good year. One.
Yeah, this list is garbage.
After Lane Kiffin, Deion Sanders, Josh Heupel, who does a really good job. I got to come off of Josh Heupel. I question him. I think he does a really good job.
So let me back to Brian Kelly real quick before you finish the list. If they win a national championship this year, where is he? Number 2?
I mean, you would have to launch him back up there.
Yeah.
I mean, he would probably be number 2.
Rhett Lashley, Chris Kleiman, Kirk Ferentz. Those are the only ones that got votes.
All really good coaches. Look, subjective. I disagree with it.
Nobody's top 10, Hugh Freeze.
I mean, I just don't think Hugh's earned that spot. I mean, you can go back to Ole Miss and say he did some nice things there. He did some nice things at Liberty, but it is Liberty. His last 2 years at Auburn have not been good. He admits that in the interview you'll see at noon, that they haven't been good. They haven't met expectations. So I think it's fair not to have Hugh Freeze in the top 20.
Nobody's top 10, Billy Napier either. I mean, there's a lot of names that are not in there. Adrian Adelson. Is that her name?
Yeah. Andrea, I think.
Andrea. I had Brian Kelly in my top 10. Seeing him not make it surprised me, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah, very good.
No,
all right.
Should have.
Let's do our spotlight. It's brought to you by Alexander Shunnarah. We'll move to another list and see if we can butcher this one too.
Lance
this one not from ESPN.
Lance
it's
is 0 for
CBS.
2.
Hit it.
The College Football Spotlight.
Which one did you like more, the recruiting rankings or that one? Which one was better?
I mean, so Dunaway disagreed on that. Y'all all agreed on the recruiting rankings,
the recruiting
right? And you agreed with me on this list. It was
some of it, some of it, certainly.
Truthfully, I'm on vacation next week, so I'm just mailing it in.
This is your last hour before vacation. Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys, a national firm with southern roots, headquartered in Birmingham. More than 24 years, they've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. Alex wanted to create a firm that could handle any issues community face. They now handle not just personal injury claims, but claims for fire or storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, Alexander Shunnarah is your guy. Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com.
Okay, you'll need to write down who are the Tier 1 national championship contenders here.
Not on my board, just to keep up with it?
Yeah, just to keep up in your head.
All right.
Texas and Ohio State, no surprise there. Penn State is the CBS Tier 1 national champions.
Okay.
So you've got Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, Oregon, Notre Dame, Alabama, Clemson, LSU.
Okay.
Those are your Tier 1 national championship contenders.
How many was it?
LSU, I did not count them.
6, 7, 8, 9.
I've got 9. Okay.
Okay, 9. Okay, so that's all 9. Tell me the Tier 2 teams that you would go with that would have, just pick one of these for a national champion. These are their Tier 2 national championship contenders. Auburn.
No.
Oklahoma.
Pass.
South Carolina.
Pass.
Florida.
Pass. But I could have them in the playoffs, but
Miami.
Pass.
Texas A&M.
Pass.
Tennessee.
Pass.
Michigan. And Ole Miss.
Nope. You didn't give me one.
That's your Tier 2.
Yeah, I think
which is the best one?
I would. What nut of mine do you have? The
I
right
think
or
it's
the
the left.
I would bet.
I don't look at it very often.
Yeah. All junk involved that one of those 9 teams on Tier 1 will win the national championship.
Yeah, there's a reason they're Tier 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
feel like outstanding about that. Like, would you not bet anything you have on one of those 9 teams to win it?
If you gave me this or the field, that or the field bet, 100% give me those 9. I don't even have to look.
It's not even close. There's not another team that can win the national championship.
I mean, you did not make me think on any of those Tier 2.
No, let me say this, though. Would Notre Dame been Tier 1 last year? I don't think they would have been.
They would not have been.
Yeah. And they were up 7-0 playing for the national championship.
7-0, and they had grinded out about the entire first quarter on that opening drive.
Yeah, absolutely. CBS Sports' Chip Patterson, 100 things to get excited about for the upcoming college football season right there. 4 downs every day. We're about to get to that. Our friends at Gutter Cap bring you part of the show. Gutter Cap, your chance to cap those gutters after getting them cleaned one last time, and then you never have to clean the gutters again. That's what you get from our friends at Gutter Cap, LT.
Yeah, the rainfall around here has been pretty insane, and you need to keep the gutters clean and free-flowing. The answer is Gutter Cap, 205-823-2212. That is the number you need to call. Get the absolutely free estimate from our man, Chris Stewart. Tell him the Next Round sent you. They're going to give you a great deal there. It's a dirty, dangerous job. Look, you worked hard all week. You don't want to, on the weekends, get the ladder out. You get on the roof, you slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. No good to the wife or kids. Make the phone call that I made over 2 decades ago, 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
First down.
More wins this year. The Missouri Tigers or the Denver Broncos?
Missouri, our 40-40 team at number 37. I'm going to go Denver Broncos, not even close.
I mean, the Broncos were in the playoffs last year, and I think they can be again.
I don't know if you know this. Half the teams that make the postseason don't make it the next year.
I've heard, but I think, even if they miss the playoffs, they probably miss it as a 9-8 type team.
Okay, Eli's on a heater. He's won 21 games the last 2 years.
I'm aware. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos here.
I think to your point, LT, is you think Kansas City falls back closer to the pack, but still good. Chargers getting better. Raiders getting better. I mean, the Bills are better. Great.
I mean,
Ravens
Denver,
are good. I mean, there's going to be a lot of good AFC teams.
Yeah, I think Denver's going to be good. A lot of this is going to be, does Bo have a sophomore slump, which is possible. It looks like he's the perfect quarterback in Sean Payton. He's almost a Drew Brees light, but I don't think they're going to have much drop off. I agree with you guys. I would take the Broncos. I wouldn't feel great about it.
Oh, I'd feel great about it. Here's why. Because it's as much the Missouri side of this as it is the Denver side. I think Missouri's a 6-win, 7-win team.
Yeah.
But I think the college football schedule is a little more predictable going into the season.
But I'm just saying, predicting that schedule, I got them at 6 or 7 wins, 7 their ceiling. I think Denver gets at least 8.
The truth behind this question is Lance tries to do these geographically, and you couldn't do the Kansas City Chiefs from Missouri.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, you got to get my cheat code out.
That's the closest geographical team.
Yeah, I was clawing for that. But I agree with you guys. I think it is the Denver Broncos.
Second down.
Oh, Megan Fox, 39 years old today. Ultimately, better career, Megan Fox or Eli Drinkwitz? And before we just jump on SEC coach, this won 21 games the last 2 years.
I was not going to do that.
No, me either. I was going to go Megan Fox.
Yeah, I was going to Megan Fox, not think about it.
But, Megan Fox at 39, I mean, this is when, does she still get the roles that she got in the past based on her looks?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter? You're still?
Transformers carries for me.
Okay. Was that her last big role?
No, I wouldn't say so, but I mean, her laying on the Camaro is iconic.
It is.
Tyler.
That 9-year-old me definitely remembers seeing that.
I'm sure.
It is so funny, Tyler, when you said Transformers does it for me right there, I was about to say, Tyler always brings the cinematic look at this. It's never sexuality with him. And then he doubled it down right there. I'm glad I didn't make that statement before you talked about laying on the Camaro.
I only saw the first Transformers. That was way too much racket. I know you love the great sound system, but that in a theater was overwhelming. But the one thing that did jump out was Megan Fox in that role.
Yeah. She's the one with the bad thumbs.
Oh, toe thumbs.
Yeah. Toe thumbs.
Yeah.
All she's got to do is grow her fingernail out. I never understood that. Grow the finger out, and then nobody's going to be able to tell you got a toe thumb.
I doubt anybody ever in their life said, I'm not going to date Megan Fox because of those toe thumbs. I bet that sentence has never been uttered.
Yeah.
But can you imagine being married to her, though? And she's like, honey, you got a little eyelash.
You remember
right
the Seinfeld with the girl with the man hands? Yeah.
Well, that would be probably the first thing. People get upset about how the other, the spouse brushes their teeth. It probably would be the thumbs that would start to annoy you the most.
Yeah. Pass the bread. Okay, honey. And all you see is 2 thumbs coming at you with the bread.
Third down.
Janet Jackson is 59 years old today.
Wow.
If I asked you ultimately better career, Janet Jackson or Missouri football? And I'm being serious here,
No,
too.
I know. Missouri, have they ever won a national championship? I don't think so. I wonder
No.
what the closest they have come is, though. Well, I guess the closest would probably be that game they played against Kansas.
Chase Daniels, yeah. I'm going to go Janet Jackson, not even close. Just Rhythm Nation does it for me.
Wardrobe malfunction. I don't know what
that was not
meant.
a big deal to me. I love boobs. I love boobs more than anybody else.
You know why
in
it was
America.
a big deal? Because it led
More than anybody else in America.
I do. I mean, I
Okay.
love boobs.
All right.
We're not here right now having this conversation if
You're right.
Janet Jackson doesn't pop out at the Super Bowl.
Tyler
creates YouTube.
Yeah, Tyler has a very good point. Yeah.
Okay.
And I really, I don't know if YouTube would have ever been. It would have been created in another way, but is it YouTube? I mean, really, our world's completely different if she doesn't pull her tit out.
Yep.
I don't know if that is true or not.
Technically, Justin Timberlake.
The guys who made YouTube made it as a search engine for people to find that
Yeah.
video.
I mean, I think we would have eventually gotten here.
We would have gotten a
agree.
search engine, but it would have been YouTube. It would have looked kind of the same, but it would have been a different brand. I'm just saying, there's no YouTube
team.
without that.
Could have built out in a completely different way.
So, Missouri over under 10 conference titles in the Big 8.
In the Big 8?
In the Big 8.
Oh, that's under.
Way under. I'm going to
Unless
say
these train days back in the 30s and 40s, we don't know anything
you
about
said
it.
10?
I said 10.
That
over
seems
under
like
10.
a heavy number there. If you would have said 3, I would have gone under.
I'm going to say 5.
12.
Wow.
Now, to Lance's point, the vast majority of them are pre-World War II.
Yeah, no air travel.
Yeah.
But since World War II,
since World War II, 1960 and 1969, they've only won 2.
Okay.
So, I mean, they dominated, when our boys were all fighting Hitler. But other than that, they have not been a great program. I will definitely go Janet Jackson. Second most successful Jackson, right? Behind Michael?
Oh, yeah.
Fourth down.
Is Jermaine third?
I got to bring this up because Michael Jackson came up on one of these things, but I got into your TikTok. You guys watch a lot of TikTok. I think you watch the most. And now I kind of understand how you get pulled into this.
Oh, it's very addictive.
Because there was a Corey Feldman video of him dancing and then playing guitar. And then it was like a screen where you could go pick the next really bad Corey Feldman video. And he brought up Michael Jackson in one of these videos. But I was like, what in the hell am I doing looking at my 7th Corey Feldman really, really bad video from some kind of music festival?
The intelligence behind TikTok is alarming. I mean, they can
waste hours of your time.
In a very short time frame, figure out exactly what I want to see.
Yeah.
It is.
When you don't want to see, but all of a sudden it kind of appeals to you.
Exactly. I go, I didn't know I wanted to see that.
What's crazy is that... used to you'd come across a video and you would send it to someone thinking that maybe they have not seen it.
That's right.
Right? Like the other night, I get a lot of comedians on my feed.
I do
music
too.
and comedians.
Did a lot of Shane Gillis, a lot of Cat Williams, a lot of...
same thing.
Yeah.
And so Theo Vaughn's on there.
Theo Vaughn.
Yeah, I got some blonde chick that I had never heard of, but she's pretty funny.
Yeah,
and so I've started to watch her a little bit. She's kind of a rougher looking, younger Chelsea Handler.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know what her name is.
Kate something?
Something like that, yeah. She's pretty
like,
funny, though.
Was at the Kentucky Derby recently?
Yeah.
That's her. She's in mine, too.
Her bedroom, it's a master bath. It's just right behind them.
So the big trend in the last 2 weeks has been these comedians' babies, podcast babies. And so Theo Vaughn, baby Theo Vaughn.
It's actually kind of funny, isn't it?
Theo Vaughn's his voice, but it's a baby
doing
being
the voice.
generated doing it.
Yeah.
So Taylor Korn loves Theo Vaughn. So I was like, oh, this is funny.
Did the baby debate him?
Thinking to myself, Taylor hasn't seen, knowing that Theo Vaughn's probably all over her algorithm.
Mid-20s Taylor has not seen this.
So I sent a link and sent it to her. She replied pretty quickly in comparative time for how quickly Taylor usually responds to my tweet or text. She responds, a lot of my friends have already sent this to me.
Granddad.
Yeah, thanks. I saw this 2 weeks ago, Jim.
Thanks, Pops.
Yeah. First of all, I saw it, and then a lot of people have sent this to me before you. Why are you texting me at 9 o'clock at night, this baby Theo Vaughn?
4th down.
Pierce Bronson, 72 years old today. Better career, Pierce Bronson or Paul Pierce?
Is it Brosnan?
Yep,
Okay.
Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan, I liked him in Thomas Crown Affair. I think he probably is most recognized for James Bond, understandably. Yeah. But I thought he and Rene Russo, the Thomas Crown Affair, I don't know if you've seen that. It's a very smart, I would say it's a very smart movie. Do you like it, Tyler?
Yeah, I like it. I'm more into, I guess, the bank heist sort of movies,
right.
like Heat or something like that. But
that's got
the art's a little too uppity for you.
I've just never been big on the European style heist.
I just thought the ending was very creative. The way he got away with it was very creative.
He's really good. I mean,
that one's based on a true story as
Absolutely.
well.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
The Thomas Crown Affair?
Yeah.
He's really good though in Mobland.
Paul Pierce for me here because I don't think we remember how good he really was.
Paul Pierce was great, but all I remember is you had to get the big three together for him to win a championship. It's the only one he won. And then you go back to 1997, one of the best, maybe the best college basketball starting five that didn't win a national championship when they got upset by Providence in Birmingham, Paul Pierce in Kansas.
Right.
And I can't get over the fact that they had to wheel him out after getting a slap foul on a wrist.
Was Jock Vaughn the guard on that team?
Yeah.
So it was Jock Vaughn, Paul Pierce,
Rafe LaFrentz, Scotty Pollard, and
boy, that's a lot of NBA guys.
And Kirk Heinrich.
A lot of NBA guys.
Dude, they were unbelievable.
Did win the national championship.
I mean, they couldn't get past the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Pierce just because he was James Bond for multiple films, and he really brought the Bond franchise back.
I'll go Pierce Brosnan.
And he was in Mrs. Doubtfire.
He was, yes.
With a whacker packer, a Speedo.
You think that's a good starting lineup? Go look at Cooper Flagg's high school basketball team starting five.
Well, am I going to know these guys?
They're all going to be first-round NBA draft picks this year. They were at that. Is it Mount Vedra or Mount Vernon, whichever that.
Derek Queen, which I knew about. Liam McNeely and Asa Newell.
And Cooper Flagg.
I'm late to the game here. I did not know Asa Newell started.
Going to assume they didn't lose a game?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm
33-0, Lance.
That starting five in high school, Cooper Flagg, Asa Newell, those guys may have beat that Kansas team you were just talking about.
Throw Cooper Flagg on the Leeds team this year, or whoever locally, and they're going to win the state championship.
So they all moved in because Derek Queen started in Maryland.
Yeah. That's how those academies work.
Yeah.
That's the IMG version of basketball.
Montverde is the academy there.
Yeah. The fifth guy, potential first-round draft.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Robert Wright, it says, while not as widely recognized as the others, he was a teammate of Flagg's and now playing for Baylor. So you got a guy at Baylor, Asa Newell at Georgia. Liam McNeely was UConn.
Well, McNeely will get one and
Derek
done.
Queen was at Maryland.
Newell one and done.
Yeah.
Queen one and done. And Cooper one and done.
Yeah. All right, that's our 4 downs today. The show also being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill LT. Tell us about Hemp Hill when we come back. That Nate Oates soundbite on facilities that is must-hear plus trash. But Hemp Hill must get this season before the heat.
Yeah, hey, look, right now, $1,000 off the HVAC unit, 0% financing. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The Legends of Golf return to Birmingham. It's the region's tradition, presented by Coca-Cola at Greystone, May 14th through 18th. See some of golf's greatest names like Ernie Els, John Daly, and Stuart Sink compete for one of golf's most prestigious titles. 4 days of thrilling shots, unforgettable moments, and world-class golf, all in support of local charities. The region's tradition, presented by Coca-Cola. Get your tickets now.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Okay, before we get to trash, a couple of sound bites. And this hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's world famous fried chicken. It's on 119 in Alabaster. That's where Sterling and the crew has been serving it up for over a decade. I mean, if you have a restaurant, eatery that's in the same location for over 10 years, it's flat out good. This is flat out excellent food. Great comfort food, good anytime, 99 days away from the return of football. No better place to get your tailgate. Deep southern fried chicken, brined overnight, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, great desserts, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, champyschicken.com. Bruce Pearl last night at the Jimmy Rain Charity Foundation gathering down there in Montgomery was asked about Tahaad Pettiford. This is from our friends Rosie Langelo and Davis Baker of WSFA down in Montgomery. They had a chance to talk to Bruce last night, and this is Bruce on Tahaad Pettiford's return to Auburn and what could happen.
Tahaad had a great day yesterday. He was the best player on the floor, and I think nothing's really changed. If Tahaad has an opportunity to get a first-round guaranteed contract, then I think he's going to go, and he should go if he gets a first-round guarantee. If he doesn't, because of NIL and the opportunity to come back to Auburn, he would be happy. He wants to come back if not that, but he's ready, and he's been overlooked his whole life because he's 6 foot tall, and there aren't but about 4 or 5 teams in the NBA that would even consider taking a point guard under 6'5". So the number of teams that he would go to is just limited, And so, anyways, we'll get really good information from the NBA, and if he decides to come back to Auburn, we'll be a lot better team. He will take advantage of the year and get bigger and stronger. And look, when you sign your first contract, you got a chance to get rich. When you sign your second, your third contract, that's when you have a chance to get wealthy. And so it's about getting that second or third contract. And so he won't leave unless he's in a really good spot. And we'll probably know, I would say, in the next couple weeks.
First thing I noticed is Bruce updated his height.
Yeah,
He's,
I was going to say, you're the one that told us 5'11".
Yeah.
He's got my spray tan, it looks like. Does Bruce play golf at all?
I don't think so, not much.
I don't think so. Yeah. This is the dinner part of the charity event.
Auburn friend of mine whose son takes Taekwondo with my daughter saw me at Taekwondo last night.
Right.
And said, and he listens to the show every day, and he says, update on Pettiford day 2. And I was like, oh, he killed it again? He goes, no.
Just the opposite.
Just the opposite. I think he had like 6 turnovers.
Oh.
Didn't shoot as
Hey,
well.
If you're an Auburn fan, that's what you want.
Yeah, no, that's what he was saying. He was like, all my buddies, he says, my brother-in-law or something, my buddies were texting me and like, okay, day 2, not as good. We got hope.
Okay, now cut number 1, Tyler. This is us talking to Nate Oates in our Coca-Cola conversations that you can get on our YouTube. And I was asking Nate about if you went to an Alabama game this past year, you saw the groundbreaking and the building going up for the new practice facility. So I had this to ask of head coach Nate Oates about the new facility in Tuscaloosa.
How much of the new practice facility are you designing that you got to say, I want this, I want this, I want this?
They've had me heavily involved in the entire thing. As a matter of fact, I went and I met with I spent a week with the Celtics, just under a week last summer. Talked to Joe. I've gotten to be pretty good friends with Joe and kind of talked through a lot with him. I came back and kind of blew up the plans. I said, sorry, guys. They literally were to the end, and I'm like, no, we're doing it all different. So I felt bad, but I like, no, if we're going to do it, let's do it the way we want. And it actually went all the way to Greg Bird and President Bell, like, okay, are we really going to? And they did. And I think it's going to be a one-of-a-kind facility. The people designing it had said that they had pitched maybe these ideas to some people, and they didn't really buy them. It's maybe more of a, maybe soccer, rugby type. There's going to be very integrated. Like, there's not a player lounge and a staff lounge. There's one big shared space. Like, my office is going to be right pretty much on the practice floor. You leave out of my office and you walk right on the floor. So it's going to be a lot easier to kind of build relationships with players. And I think that's very important in the transfer portal, NIL day. Like, we got to have great relationships. Right now, my office is on the opposite end. I have no idea when players come in to shoot. I can't call them in, hey, come see me for 5 minutes before they get in a voluntary workout or whatever. Now it's my office is essentially part of the practice floor. Same with the 3 assistants, kind of get my office, and then 3 assistant offices, and the weight room right across. So it's it's like the weight room, the training room, the practice floor, my office, 3 assistants. You go upstairs, support staff, a big, huge shared space, and I'm super excited. I can't wait. So it's supposed to be done by next summer. We're supposed to move in like this time next year.
This is part of, when the Kentucky job came open after Nate Oates made a Final Four run, this was a focus for him. It's like, if I'm going to stay at Alabama, and I won't talk to Kentucky, but we got to have this done the way I want it done.
Yeah.
And
no new arena.
That's
right.
Yeah.
I want this.
And that's what everybody thought is, he's going to leverage this in a new arena. No, he leveraged it into this. And maybe it's because he knew he could get this and not a new arena. I don't know. Or maybe it's because he values this more than a new arena. Everybody else would say arena, but when you listen to his vision for this.
Well, he's going to spend a lot more time.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he's obviously passionate about this. I mean, he's passionate enough that he went to the Celtics and is like, all right, we're going to start over.
And this is where the guys spend all their time, too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important, and it sounds exciting, and it sounds like they were about to start painting some walls, and he decided to tear it down and sort of start over a little bit. So one more year until they moved into that facility about this time next year.
By the way, real quick, I'll just say this. The whole Nate Oates interview is up. There's a link in the chat room if you're in the chat right now, but it's up on our YouTube channel. He also addresses his potential interest in NBA jobs in the future. So if you've ever worried about Nate Oates leaving for the NBA, you can hear from the horse's mouth what his thoughts are on coaching in the NBA.
Yep. And he also names 8, 9, 10 different NBA coaching staffs that he's really good friends with, talks to all the time, which will make you nervous. Our friends at A+ gets us to trash today. Tell us about A+.
He needs to call Brad Bell for that practice facility, and Brad specializes.
They're coming out next week.
New projects to Taylor Howells?
Yeah, well, I've got to get a new fan installed in the bathroom.
Okay, well, there you go. Master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. That's what Brad specializes in. You can see all his work, AlabamaBathRemodels.com. That is AlabamaBathRemodels.com. If you're tired of your outdated bath or shower like we were in the Brown house, my wife scoured the internet, looked for the best person for the job. After talking to contractors, reading reviews, people that had used certain contractors, she selected Brad Bell. I'm so glad she did. He did tremendous work. You can call him to get him to come out and bid a job for you like Lance is doing, 205-422-1758. Or just get started if you don't want to talk on the phone. AlabamaBathRemodels.com. Look at his work. Shoot him a message. He'll come out and he'll bid your job too. Brad Bell, AlabamaBathRemodels.com. That is AlabamaBathRemodels.com. Hit it, Tyler.
Tell me about the whistles. The whistles got woo. When you want to woo woo, it's got woo woo. You know what I'm saying?
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
As you were doing right now.
We've got fresh kegs that just got delivered yesterday.
Smells so good.
So, during a major North California drug bust last week, authorities discovered a baby spider monkey and 2 rattlesnakes in the person's home.
That's a weird throuple.
Yep.
How bad do you think this place smelled?
I bet a spider monkey stinks.
Oh
yeah. The snake. I don't know. Snakes have an odor, but I don't know.
They do. It's a urine odor.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I don't
get a
how
lot of urine.
Oh, how strong it is.
Yeah, just going into the reptile house at the Birmingham Zoo, you can smell there's something with the reptiles.
Yeah. You've heard I'm snake piss drunk. Is that a thing?
Never heard that.
Never heard that.
Nope.
Okay.
What is that?
I've heard I'm piss drunk.
Snake piss
you can
drunk.
Throw
is what
snake
it is.
piss out there.
I'm checking this to see if that's actually a phrase.
See if you've ever heard that, Tyler.
Deputies found half pound of meth, about $26,000 worth, in a car. 50-year-old man was then arrested after the traffic stop. Following day, detectives searched the man's home in Vallejo, California, because of the, quote, large amount of meth. It was enough to prompt concerns about the drug possibly being sold. That's when they found a spider monkey, 2 rattlesnakes, another pound of meth, and more than $2,000 in cash.
I'm going to guess the rattlesnakes might, you might put some cash in the cage there. I don't know about the spider monkey. You know, they do that with alligators sometimes.
Yeah, I know, but then you've got to get them out.
You do.
I'm not reaching a cage of rattlesnakes for anything.
Negatron. Yeah. Nope, not a chance.
Fountain of Youth is in there, and it's bottled up.
That's right. Ariana Grande bottled up in there.
might battle through, but
for the Fountain of Youth, you wouldn't. For a rattlesnake? I mean,
but how ironic would it be if you died before you got to drink Fountain of Youth?
But you're not going to die. We live in the greatest country on the planet. You can get any hospital's got a rattlesnake venom.
I wouldn't say any.
What if, though,
it's not indigenous to that area? They wouldn't.
What if the Fountain of Youth, though, you can't go back and change things? You could have a worse youth than you actually had. That's what you don't know.
You don't, Brown.
Yeah, I think the older you get, too, you start to think, man, like, life's fun, life's great, but, like, if everybody dies off,
Yeah, I think, Brown, you're mixing up a time machine or going back to your youth with Fountain of Youth. Makes me younger. Everybody else stays the same. My life stays the same.
You're accurate. That is what I was confused with those two. I wasn't thinking about it. What if the Fountain of Youth's actually a time machine, though, and you just didn't know that?
Now it's a different culture.
I would rather have a time machine than the Fountain of Youth.
I had too.
Yeah.
But there again, it comes with some issues.
So fast food just got faster.
Oh, wait a second. Did Snake Piss?
Snake Piss drunk?
Yeah, so I couldn't find any
Look at
sort
dirty
of
ass monkey.
I know.
any record of that being a saying.
Yep, never heard of it.
You found piss drunk, right?
Scott
Scott
says in the chat, I am one of the biggest rednecks you can meet. Snake piss drunk is a new one to me.
Yeah.
Greg from Pale City says Jim is definitely mailing in this last 10 minutes. Snake piss drunk.
And apparently snakes don't even smell.
Yeah.
Like
they do.
They're musky after they shed skin, but
musky.
Anybody that owns a snake smells. How about that?
So tell Greg if I mailed it in, I don't want the commission for the last sell I just made. This fine.
So when it comes to flipping burgers, robots making mincemeat out of the human competition. Just check out the newly opened Burger Bots, California's Silicon Valley, where automated line cooks can churn out meat pucks in under 30 seconds with no sleep, obviously, bathroom breaks, hair in your food. According to Elizabeth Truong, the creator of the innovative concept, quote, the vision was to bring consistency, transparency, and efficiency to food service.
Okay, but somebody's got to slice the tomatoes to put it into the area that the tomatoes are going to come out.
Correct.
Somebody's got to...
Yeah, but you are going to... You don't have to have as much manpower. The problem is the jobs you're taking away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I get the feeling a lot of people don't want to have those jobs when they have them. You go into a lot of fast food joints, and it doesn't look like you got a friendly work.
They don't want to have the job until they don't have a job. According to 2025 data from the World Economic Forum, which you guys would believe, right?
Yeah, I'm a big believer.
Automation and the AI could result in the loss of how many human jobs by 2030? So in 5 years, just take a guess.
12.3 million.
I'm going to say, I was going to go percentages, 27%.
It's 92 million.
That's a lot of jobs, Lance. How many do we actually have?
Yeah. They're talking about cashiers, fast food employee gigs, clocking in among the most at-risk careers. So it's jobs all across the board, all industries.
Yeah.
Well, see, at some point...
Hey, how bad does that burger look, though?
It looks terrible. I don't want the one made by a robot.
And I think, I'm not going to call out the bot, but he left off my beef patty. I mean, where's the beef? Let's go back to the 80s. And where's the beef?
The pickles are dried out. The bread looks dry.
Yeah. And it's a very small piece of meat. Look, it's hidden under the lettuce right there. That is a lot of lettuce, too, by the way.
That's terrible looking burger.
I'm not going to Burger Bots.
Packaging is... I wouldn't even eat it free, would you?
Yeah, I would not either. If they put that on my plate right now, I'd say no, thank you.
When Rick and Bubba opened their restaurant down there in Pelham,
this better be a better transition than where you're going right now.
No, they invited us, and to their credit, they were like, "Be honest with me." Rick and Bubba were both, "Be honest with me. What do you think?"
And I told them,
I told them both the same thing. It wasn't terrible, but it was an assembly line burger where you went through and told people what you want on it, which in concept is not a bad idea, right? But it just threw a cold piece of cheese on there. And I was like, Bubba, and I told Rick and Bubba both, I was like, I like my cheese melted on the burger now. I could be in the minority on that, but that is my biggest
compliment. I like the bum with a little heat, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not in the minority on that, but I believe that if the burger is hot and you can set the cheese on my bun and then put the hot burger on top of it, then it melts it enough for me to where it's fine. It doesn't have to be cooked on. I don't like it when you cook it.
I like it that way. I like it. The cheese has to go on the burger while it's still on the grill.
I don't like that.
Or for you, while it's still on the barbecue.
Yeah, I like it on the bread and then put the hot piece of meat on it, and that gets it warm enough for me.
That's why smash burgers, I think, are so much better than regular burger.
I miss Fuddruckers. I mean, that massive murder aside, I miss Fuddruckers.
That wasn't down.
Hey, by the way, you're the one. By the way, I've never heard anybody utter that sentence ever.
You awakened Tyler's curiosity there.
No, we've had a lot of fast food or restaurant places.
I think the murder
was a murder.
We had a Chili's up the street where one of the managers got knifed in the parking lot.
But at Fuddruckers in the Galleria back in the 80s, 90s, there was a shooting.
They never quite recovered, Tyler.
Might have been the first, but it wasn't the last.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Magna Carta. What do you think?
I've seen it.
What do you
Second best document ever written.
I've seen it.
What do you think this would be worth if you could have an actual copy of the Magna Carta? Now, what I didn't realize is there's 7 copies. I didn't realize they had a Kinko's back in the day. Do you?
They didn't.
Print another.
They had somebody sitting there going, how many of these we got to write down?
Yeah, that feather.
Ben Franklin needs another one?
Yeah. Emily Grace, how many more calligraphies do we have to write today?
So what do you think it would be worth? I'll tell you this. Harvard University paid just $27.50 for this. It's an ultra-rare original from the 14th century.
They paid how much?
$27.50.
Oh. I mean, that sounds like a deal to me for a Magna Carta.
Now, the groundbreaking document which sets limits on the King of England's power and established the right to a fair trial is one of 7 copies of the 13th century version issued by King Edward I, according to academics who made the stunning discovery. They went on to say Harvard had been sitting on it all these years without realizing exactly what it was. The exact value of the weather-worn charter wasn't immediately clear, but a similar version from 1297 sold for $21.3 million in an auction in New York in 2007.
Tuition is dropping at Harvard.
Yeah, negative. I'll go ahead and tell you, it doesn't make the main room in the National Archives, so there's some that are worth more. Have y'all ever been to the National Archives? It's so cool. Because that upper main room, it's got the U.S. Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights that you can go see. Magna Carta is, I think, even downstairs.
New York Times Sports, Bobby Thompson shot heard around the world is up there, too, right?
It's in the men's room. It's right over the urinal.
Saban's 6 national championship.
Nick Saban's
now,
media
the
guy.
Original Magna Carta, written in 1215, declared that kings must be subject to law. Residents are entitled to freedom from arbitrary imprisonment, along with other trailblazing foundations of modern American society. So there were 4 from 1215, and it was previously believed only 6 from the 13th century versions existed until this discovery.
I mean,
seriously, if we went around and polled 1,000 middle-aged Americans,
right?
And we said Magna Carta.
Oh,
was it one of the ships of Columbus that discovered America? True or false?
Yeah, a lot of people are going to think it was a boat. Yeah, Magna Carta is a very unheralded document in our country because after it, you got the Declaration of Independence, easily more important. Bill of Rights. United States Constitution, all those things are more important than the Magna Carta. Gettysburg Address is an address.
Yeah,
it's a speech. I wouldn't say that's a document.
What about Vince Lombardi's speech?
Vince Lombardi's speech, definitely.
Tim Tebow's
that's
speech
immortalized.
They emblazoned on a statue outside of Florida Field.
Lyrics to Dixieland Delight,
of
the
course.
alternate version, Tuscaloosa.
Yes.
We end comedian Theo Vaughn.
In the news.
Had a little
twice
altercation. A man holding some birthday balloons goes up to Theo, doesn't back down after a quick back and forth, clearly antagonizing Theo Vaughn here.
By the way, this looks worse than the video. These still shots are making it look like Theo went crazy on the guy.
Yeah.
He did not.
Well, look, I got no problem what Theo did based on this article. Theo looks like he wants to be left alone. Just seconds into the video, you see him wrap his right hand around the man's neck.
He just backed him up that way. He did not squeeze it. He didn't choke him.
He looks like he's got a guy in a chokehold.
Threw him out of the situation and went back to his table.
Yeah, so sources say that this guy was with a big group. They continued to antagonize. They were using threatening language, saying they were trying to screw with him on camera, and that's when he got fed up.
So they did. I mean, you can hear one of the girls say, Daryl, put the balloons down. Lower the balloons, Daryl.
Daryl, get rid of that shirt you're wearing.
Get a better shot.
Burn it, Daryl.
In these situations, when you're getting suckered in as a celebrity, so somebody who's trying to get a paycheck, those people we should have a law. Those people should be arrested.
But I tell you what, that's interesting.
No, they should be.
I mean, it should be like a harassment charge, a misdemeanor, and you
Public
give
harassment.
him a $500 citation, embarrass him. I don't like Theo Vaughn, but he is 1,000% in his rights to do what he did here.
So this changed my opinion on stuff like this. Not necessarily my opinion, but it gives you a different perspective.
This happened to you. You get tired of people walking up and talking to you.
You were invited, so don't go FOMO on us. You said no, but me and Lance were with Barkley down here at, wasn't it Black Market, right down here in the Colonnade?
Maybe. I mean, I know we were there at a time with Barkley.
And a guy comes up to him, asks for his autograph. Charles, very nice, gives him his autograph. Guy comes up to him and says, hey, I meant to ask for a photo. Can I get a photo with you? Charles, very nice, does the photo with him. And the guy's drunk. 2 minutes later, a guy comes up like, hey, it's my sister's birthday. She's a big fan of yours. Do you mind talking to her on the phone? And Charles is like, dude, I am here with my buddies trying to have a drink and some food. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
and I'm like, if that's the only thing you see, Charles is like a complete ass. But the guy had come up 3 times.
100%.
What's Charles supposed to do?
And this guy, as you said, several times on Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
And the one that makes it is this video
Well, and this
that
is-
doesn't even look that bad. He just sort of moves the guy back around his neck.
And this is the unfortunate thing that, there's a lot of people that are like, hey, man, I don't understand why people have bodyguards. Like, Theo Vaughn is visible enough that he could have somebody with him that could take care of this stuff.
He's probably an A-list celebrity.
He would probably take shit for having a bodyguard.
Yeah. I just public harassment. Let's get that passed through. That and changing college football.
Scott says, who shot the couch, Daryl? Why are you wearing the couch?
Yeah.
It's like the guy who was on the plane with Mike Tyson and starts messing with him on video.
Yeah, I mean,
why would you antagonize Mike Tyson?
Those people deserve their ass kicked.
Yeah, he wants Mike Tyson to punch him so he could sue Mike Tyson and try to get some money out of it.
And I would be on the jury, and I would say, not only does Mike Tyson not owe you money,
you owe him money.
You owe Mike Tyson money. You've got to pay for his court costs.
Yeah, the airline ticket where you threw his flight out of whack.
You got to pay his legal fees. It's just we're upside down with people doing this stuff, all because of this. All because of this, because we can shoot video.
Phones, yeah.
That's the show. We're back with you on Monday as we continue our 40 and 40 countdown.
Have a good trip.
I will. Vulcan Tire and Automotive. One more PGA Championship update before we get out of here, where Aaron Ray is going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I don't think that this is a bold declaration, but if this leaderboard holds up where it is right now, this might be the worst ratings in a major history for golf.
Not a lot of big names up there.
You don't think Vegas, Pavan, and Thor Borgerson?
Yeah, I don't even know half these people.
Yeah.
So Vulcan Tire and Automotive, you're heading out like Dunaway is. You're getting on the road for the big Memorial Day weekend next weekend.
Roll, tires, roll.
Yeah, make sure those tires are ready. Make sure your car is serviced bumper to bumper. Our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive, they can help. Make sure you mention the next round. They are going to guarantee you the best tire pricing in all of Birmingham. Stop in, see the guys. Again, tell them the next round sent you. It's Vulcan Tire and Automotive.
To show you how bad the leaderboard is, Dunaway brought up 3 golfers, mispronounced 2 of the 3 names. So these guys are
got Vegas right.
They're not well known. He got Vegas right.
Okay. Pavone,
Matthew Pavone.
Okay.
He's French, yes.
And then
Aaron
Thor Borson.
Oh, yeah. Well, you might have gotten that one right. Aaron Rye was the other one.
Okay, Rye.
So, yeah, Vegas has the lead by 2 shots. I tell you, a popular among golf people, I think Max Homa would be a popular winner. Max Homa is just a couple shots back at 5 under par there. So,
was Vegas a favorite in Vegas?
I don't know.
He was not.
I don't think so.
Either. All right, we're back with you again next week. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.